So, let's hit the YouTube record button and actually do this episode. If anyone's clicking, I don't know if anyone heard. It's pretty obscure, but there is this little independent animated web show called The Amazing Digital Circus that had like an episode premiere here the other day. It was pretty small, kind of modest. Like they're like a mid-scale studio. They sort of fly under the radar. It's only like 1.6 million people watching it, I think. So it's pretty small. I don't think a lot of people are into this show yet, but I'm just happy to put a spotlight on a small independent show that not a lot of people know about. Because I think it's very cool. I think it's important to support small animation studios when they're sort of starting out and trying to figure out like how to run their business. And like as a very famous reaction content creator, I feel like it's my moral duty to give them the spotlight that they need using my enormous audience. But anyway, yeah, Digital Circus episode 8 dropped. It is titled which I guess the person coming up with the titles for these episodes is a bottom, but okay. And generally, the theorizing is that Kane is going to abstract, right? Like that's the, or at least that the episode is going to be focused around Kane trying to deal with the fact that he can't do the one thing he was created to do, right? Like the fact that he is not capable of making the humans happy, and he doesn't understand why. And certainly the teaser posts that Glitch put out, that little puzzle thing you put together with the little vertical slices, certainly seems to indicate that the focus of the episode is one of Kane, like sort of Breaking Bad, going dark a little bit. Which, I guess we'll see. Like the other thing is, of course, teasers can be deceptive. Trailers can be deceptive. That's pretty common practice nowadays, that the trailer is a specific intentional misdirection. And who knows, maybe this will just be a chill, relaxing episode where not much happens. Maybe we're going to get like another beach episode. Who knows? It could happen. But yeah. Bit of a flashing light warning, I guess. Oh boy, someone's already stalking those photos, aren't they? They did that with the Jack's picture, like the little Jack sequence. Basically, within hours of that episode coming out, someone had cyber stalked that episode and found it all on Google Maps. And I think Glitch and like the creators had to go out, like, hey guys, don't go there. Like, don't go there and trying to fight. We haven't planted any clues. This isn't geocaching. Don't go there. Leave them alone. It's just random footage. It's not meant to mean anything. One sort of assumes that there'll be a thing of... I wonder if those are original photos that Glitch took themselves, or if they're just using stock photos. Because, like... it's not, like, Digital Circus-themed packaging, right? Like, there's a frog there, there's a clown there, so you could kind of... Well, there is the checkerboard pattern. I will say they've done a good job of replicating the sensibility of the 90s in this image. Like the heavy front flash, like the poor lighting, the vignetting around the side of the room, the blurring, the heavy shadows, even like the fucking furniture and the furnishings in the room. That does feel very authentically like 90s vibe. I quite like the animation on this. Like, there's something, and this is something they've done before. Like Digital Circus, like, I think way back in episode 2, we're doing a bunch of motion graphics 2D animation that really genuinely has a little bit of a Pixar vibe to it. Well, specifically sort of 2000s Pixar, the sort of 2D graphics that they used to use for certain segments of like Monsters Inc. and Ratatouille. Yeah, like nice little variation on. Like it's just a bunch of dots, right? Like there's nothing fancy going on here. It's just a bunch of dots in slightly different shades of red that are all sort of congealing, but it has like a biological feel to it that I quite enjoy. So the red dot. I assume the blue dot is coming. Anyway, birthday party. Carnival. Some sort of amusement park? Question mark? Oh, hey, the moon is up there. So this is someone's memories. I guess these would be inspirations for the circus. Fucking Windows 95 ass default back screensaver ass fucking photo of a hot air balloon. And an inflatable slide. Again, like the washed out color quality, the film grain on it, like it really does have that slightly sun-bleached Polaroid. 10, 14, 95. So 14th of October, 95? Was that the bite of 87? And of course, the big top. Which, you know, that's the basis of the circus. Reference photos for the development process of the digital circus, I guess. Certainly my interpretation is this is all data going into... Ooh, here comes the green. More photos? Gummy worms. Oh, hey, gummy goo. Oh, Jesus, gummy goo, you can't post that here. Children might see it. Dinosaurs, burgers. 95 again. Ooh. Carnival masks. I love carnival masks. They're so fucking cool when they're done well. The restaurant space where he sits with Bubble. That's a lot of flowers. And chocolate boxes. That feels like the bedside of someone who's dying, actually. Huh. Vector shapes. So this kind of graphics, some of the earliest video games ever, were made not with pixels, but with vector graphics, right? And vector graphics, very, very basically, is rather than having a raster, which is most video graphics that you'll see nowadays, which is here's a bunch of image data of the pixels that I put on screen. Vector data is here's a bunch of math describing the shape of something to render onto the screen. So rather than being like image data itself, it is a set of mathematical instructions for how to draw a shape on screen, right? And in many instances, that could be a much lower sort of processing power impact thing to do in order to produce graphics on screen. So early video games, early arcade games, would often be rendered with vector graphics like this. One of the most famous being Asteroids. The original Asteroids was a vector rendered thing where everything is like a line drawing, but those line drawings are just bits of math that the computer is like rendering in real time. So they are part of like a history of computer graphics that goes back a really long way. These like little simple little line drawings and shapes and like polygons that are just rendered with like a vector line. That's like old computer graphics style, which like I guess they're calling upon here. I'm again assuming this is the programming process of Kane. This is the process of loading Kane up with all of the stuff that they wanted him to be, to represent, to provide. his memories. There comes the blue. And you can see the rainbow effect happening in the little dot as well. Hello, CNA. Hard deadline, soft deadline, a stick. March, but it doesn't say which March. No indication of what year. Again, the checkerboard pattern. Slenderman ass photo on the desk there. I wonder if this is exactly the same photograph that Kane was looking at in the previous episode. Oh yeah, it seems like it is. And they showed these in the teaser as well, just without the grainy filters on top of them. Creating creation. Creating reality. Huh, different calendar, but I can't read what it says. Impact font? Ew. Yeah, we've seen these already. Oh, we're also seeing a process of the offices. Like from the heyday, and then we see the slow clearing out. Emptying of spaces. And trapped in a box. So the red is one part, the blue is another part. What's this one made of? Huh. The one consuming the other. And there is a character in the show that's sort of orb-shaped with a big mouth on it. A little worried about getting demonetized for this. Right, so Kane's creation story. There was one part that was seeded with all this stuff. It was trapped in a box. It was not supposed to get out. But it got out. And as it got out, it managed to subsume. I guess Kane might have been the beta version. Is that what we're saying here? Is that Kane was like a beta version that didn't quite work out? And they binned it? And then they started working on the sequel that was supposed to be better, and Kane got out and ate it? But yeah, we have like the thing with Kane's eyes, the red and the blue, which is like a recurring color motif in the Digital Circus. Pomni especially has that red and blue thing going on, but so does Ragatha. Oh, are we building ourselves a Kane? Huh, I thought legs and arms, but no. Guess not. More like... more like a sort of 80s vector graphics rendition of a black metal band logo. Teeth, I guess? Oh, the Big Top Circus, of course. Doi. It's the circus tent. Need to look closer at the shape of it, but there is certainly, because that's something I didn't talk about this in my little video that I did yesterday leading up to this, but in Kaufmo's room especially, the wall decorations that he has, like they're circus, right? So that you have these like triangle shapes on the wall, which are like the banners on like in a circus tent and shit, but those also look like teeth, right? which is a part of Kane's iconography that I kind of need to go back and look through the show about, because there's a lot in the show about teeth, eating, consuming. Like, there's a vor thematic that runs in the digital circus to various extents, that I'd be kind of curious to go back and see, like, whether or not teeth, consuming, chewing, swallowing is, like, deployed consistently as a thematic element. Oh-ho. Oh-ho.
Another chess piece, huh?
Oh-ho. Okay, so memories, then. Memories. I recognize you. I'm not sure I recognize the rest of them. I mean, I recognize a worm on a string when I see it. Not sure I recognize the rest of them. Hey, Scratch.
Another chess piece, huh? How are you holding up?
I just don't know what's happening. We never made anything like this.
I just hope that...
Wait.
Are you?
It's... you.
Oh my god.
I wish I could remember your name.
Same.
I'm so sorry I roped you into this with me.
It's quite strange, isn't it?
Listen, no matter what happens, I'll always...
And into the cellar you go.
Ah, there's a cut. And we get that change in lighting also. Like, we get the change in background, obviously, from one moment to the other. But there's the change in lighting as well. You can see how the color temperature, the light rendering, even the size of his eyebrows change from cut to cut because it's memories. So man, I talked about this with Zubul way the hell back in the very first episode. But when you have characters that can't emote traditionally, because they don't have a mouth, right? They don't have a mouth, maybe they don't have, like, movable facial parts that can be used to, like, create expressions. You have to find some other way, right? Like, you have to find some other way to communicate the character's change in mental state. And what they do with Queenie here is, whoop, she realizes she's looking at someone she loves, and, like, her pupils get bigger in order to see him better, right? It's very effective. It's also disturbing. Like, it's a little like, Jesus fucking... Like, did the eyeballs have to... Like, everything else is rendered so simply, Kane. Did the eyeballs have to have veins? Did they really have to? Was it necessary for them to be bloodshot? Was it really necessary for them to be bloodshot? But yeah, you can see just, like, because it's necessary with these characters, how much of their emoting is done just with gestures from the eye. And, like, dialogue has to happen with, like, exaggerated head motions, little gestures of the eyebrows. It's good animation work. And, like, it does help that, like, eyes are some of the most expressive parts of the human face. We read so much from subtle motions of the eyes. So much comes from a very subtle movement of the way that you look at someone, the way that you look away from someone. So, like, it is helpful to have the eyes available when you don't have anything else, but still, impressive work from the animators.
No matter what happens, I'll always...
The hard cut here from, like, soft music to complete silence is, oh, very good.
Always...
And into the cellar you go. Golly, we're running out of humans here. Now don't you go abstracting on me too. Seriously.
What?
That soundtrack kind of fucks, by the way. Ah, man, I hope I don't get copyright claimed for it. I hope it's not like licensed music, but
We're running out of humans here. Now don't you go abstracting on me too.
speaking of eyeballs, by the way, like Kane's eyes notably, like he has those same eyes, right? Like notably not bloodshot in that way.
Seriously.
Motion blur, my old enemy. I still hate you. Although the application of motion blur has gotten less egregious, I think, over time. Like, it feels like the image is a little bit clearer a lot of the time. Some very effective shots here. The circus, interestingly, the dimensions of the circus do seem to be kind of psychotropic, right? Which is that's like common for 3D animation, but in the sense that it is clearly not a priority on the production that the interior space of the circus be constantly physically consistent from moment to moment, right? So the scale, the size of it, how big it feels relative to the characters, does seem like they do seem to be willing to completely change it, just depending on what they want the feeling, the vibe to be here, right? Because here we have these wide camera angles, like with like wide lenses, to emphasize the smallness and loneliness of Kinger in this space, right? Whereas thinking back to shots from episode 1, like this very same hallway felt a little bit more small and cramped in some of those shots. So they're doing some very effective stuff with staging and cinematography. Like, I don't know what the internal, like, whether they have just one set of sets that they use for, like, for the animation stages, or if what I would assume they have multiple 3D environments that they use for various purposes. But, like, the way that the circus looks overwhelming here, right? Like, the way that this place looks absolutely enormous, right? Like overwhelming in its scale and size, in a way that Kinger feels totally dwarfed by his own creation, right? He feels small, like lonely, yes, but also small and insignificant and powerless.
What? What? Hello? Guys? I can't figure out how to... guys? Hello? Can you help me out here?
Interesting that Ragatha was the first. That's I did not actually pick up on that from the... Like, that you wouldn't... If you just had the dynamic between the characters, you would think Jax had been there the longest, right? Because that's how he acts. He acts like the guy, well, I've got it all figured out. I've figured out the whole system. I know what's going on here. I am complete... Like, he's the one who has the attitude of having it all figured out, right? So you'd think that he would have been here longer, like with Kinger as the crazy old man, but no, Ragatha.
What's happening? Can anybody hear me?
I can hear you. Are you okay?
Who are you? How do I take this off?
Whoa, a new one? So it is possible. Looks like you got a new buddy after all, Kinger.
Kinger. Right.
Is this really?
I was hoping new minds could show up. I have to make some more preparations for this amazing breakthrough.
Note that Kane says minds. He says minds, not people. Not humans. He says minds. Which, yeah. Does seem to imply a specific thing. Ooh, hang on. Look at the oh, man. Look at the texture on Ragatha's hands here. And, like, the little divot in the top of her thumb where, like, she's been sewn together. That's really nice. Again, I wonder, like, because we know that they've updated the animation rigs for all the characters many times over the course of the show. Like, Pomni does not look in episode 7 the way that she does in episode 1 at all. I wonder the extent that they've been messing with...
So it is possible. Looks like it was. So it was. No, we won! No, we knew we won! No, we knew So it is possible.
Sorry, couldn't help myself. I do wonder, like, the extent to it, whether Ragatha, her model, has been updated so that this is actually just what it looks like, or if they custom created, like, a specific, extremely high-quality hand rig, and, like, model bit for this specific shot. I would love to know. Because, like, there are definitely good reasons why you wouldn't necessarily want to always have the absolute highest resolution, most high-definition textures on a character in every shot. You might want, like, versions of a character that's much more LOD, like, has a better LOD, like a level of detail, depending on how far away they are. And I wonder the extent to which they do that. Also, one thing I don't think I've talked about with Ragatha enough...
Is this really?
I was
Okay, I'm not trying to YouTube poop here. Let me just do it. But the way that they handle her mouth movements, like the low frame rate stop motion aesthetic they use for it, and the way that they blend it, and like the way that it so clearly is an object, like that's attached to the front of her head. It really, like, the first episode was not visually impressive in the way of fidelity, right? In the first episode, you aren't looking at it and going, holy shit, this is so high definition. Like, it was a little bit clunky, it was a little bit awkward, it was like, it was independent 3D animation, right? Like, that was the level it was at. It was high quality independent 3D animation, but it wasn't... The individual models themselves weren't beautiful, but now, like, here... I'm sitting here looking at Ragatha's, like, just the way her model is put together, the physicality of it, and I'm genuinely kind of really, it's a beautiful 3D model. And it also, like, it also helps that, like, they have done so much to, like, improve their lighting and the way they handle the rendering and the way lighting works on these characters.
More preparations for this amazing breakthrough.
I can't help myself.
Breakthrough.
Yeah, really good. Like, the way they squeeze her button eye here to get that squinty-eyed expression of panic out of her. When something happens on Amazing Digital Circus, this is the fandom. This is what you all look like. Motion blur.
How do I get out of this?
I don't know.
What do you mean?
But everything's gonna be okay. Do you remember your name?
I'm... 'Cause... 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 'Cause
Ragatha,
Huh?
you doing okay?
Interesting. So we're swapping from... We're going from inside Kinger's memory to inside Ragatha's. Very smooth transition there. Do they do, like, a visual handoff? I don't think they do, right? Because the thing that you might do for something like this to sort of indicate it is... Well, I guess they do. They do actually do a handoff, don't they? A little bit. It's hard to tell. Because the way that you would do that, if you wanted to do the handoff that you swap from one character's memory to another, you would do a little aesthetic change. And, like, it feels like the lighting changes ever so subtly once Ragatha comes onto the scene, but I wouldn't be able to say for sure. Again, very good crosscut. Does her model change from... Yeah, it does. She has new patches on where she's sewn herself together. Yeah, there are changes. Interesting.
Ragatha,
Huh?
you doing okay?
That's a good question.
Yeah, again, the rendering, the level of rendering they're fucking doing on these characters in this episode. It's kind of a bonkers level of fidelity to apply to a character like Zubul. Because, like, oh man, I wish I had fucking Toy Story movies to bring up. I would love to do comparisons between how they handle the plastic surfaces on someone like Zubul versus how they do it in, like, the latter-day Toy Stories. Because this feels like a different physicality than the plastic in, like, a Pixar thing, but admittedly, I didn't watch the latest Toy Story movie because, you know, we really didn't need another one after 3.
Well, really hate to say it, guys, but I told
Don't you even! Do not even f***ing begin to say that sentence like you didn't try to keep us all trapped here forever.
Anything could have happened when you press those buttons. It doesn't matter.
Full of shit. Full of shit, Jax. Like, that's a post hoc rationalization, right? Like, it's true. Like, yeah, like, it was always a scam from the start. Jax kind of knew, so of course anything could have happened, but that's not why you pressed the button, Jax. You didn't press the button because it doesn't matter. You pressed the button because it really does matter. It really, really, really mattered to you. Because you were absolutely fucking terrified is why you pressed the button, bunny boy. Nice shot here framing Jax, like, inside this aperture.
It seemed to matter back when you did it.
Oh, well, yeah, no. Zubul is there ahead of me.
What if you did ruin our one chance at
And
leaving?
what if Abel was secretly evil? What if we all got stranded in the void? What if it wasn't real? So it doesn't matter. Never did.
How can you say that like you didn't try to f us all over?
He's right, though.
What? Gangle.
Oh. I do love the little... Jax is in his mask, right? Like, we've seen the indication of when Jax is in his mask, his persona, it's his eyes, right? Like, it's when they're big squares, big, like, rectangles like that. And whenever something breaks him out of it, that he drops the personality, it's that.
He's right, though.
What? Gangle.
It doesn't matter what could have happened. We could argue about it and hurt each other all day long, but that's not gonna help anybody. I think what we need to do now is to just be there for each other.
Good girl. God, yeah, the fucking rendering in this show. Like, the fuck, look at the texture on Pomni's hair here. Like, that sort of brushed, sort of stretched plastic fucking vibe. God damn. On the eyelids, too? Look at that! Fucking hell. There's someone doing materials rendering for this show who's, like, really been upping their fucking game.
She's right. We've all done bad things. But we're also all we've got. I think we need to abandon the idea of leaving.
What do you...
We got our hopes up, and we were let down. I don't know what exactly happened with Kaufmo, but we can't let that despair consume us. We should focus on what we have. Like you said, constantly chasing an unattainable goal will drive us crazy. Maybe what we have to do now is to just live.
Oh, man. I had dreams and goals. I wanted to be able to leave my mark somewhere in the world. How am I supposed to just abandon that?
Oh, the heavenly angelic light that shines down on... How am I supposed to abandon that? Cut to Gangle, framed in angelic. Like, that's why, Zubul. That's how. There's something else. Like, just abandon your dreams for Yuri. Abandon all reality. Return to Yuri. It's the answer to all life's existential questions. Become a lesbian about it. Yeah, I'm just sitting here enjoying the texture work, man. I do. There is a part of me that's like, fuck. If, and it's something that can never happen, right? Like, but there is a part of me that's like, if only they had made all of the Amazing Digital Circus with the same level of technology that they have now here, getting close to the end of the Digital Circus. Like, if only they had all of this capacity back when they started it. So, because specifically because what I want to do so badly is I want to go back to the old episodes. I want to look at the lighting. I want to look at the materials rendering. I want to look at the textures. I want to look at the reflections. I want to look at how they handle lighting, color balancing, cinematography. And I want to draw comparisons there. But there is that thing of like, well, no, because they visibly got way fucking better at all of that stuff over the course of the show. So the comparison is kind of hard to make because they're not all being made from the same like technical standpoint. So you can't really compare apples to apples, which I kind of wish we could do. Because the lighting, especially episode 7 and now in episode 8, the lighting is being used so intentionally as part of the staging and the direction, the mood, and the feelings that are being evoked, right? Fucking split, what's it called? It's the camera thing when you have, like, when you do in a movie and you split something or other, where you have the camera where like you're focusing on one part of the scene and then the other part is out of focus, but then you can like instantly split something, and you can instantly refocus the scene behind it. That's like a film technique, right? Like that's a movie ass technique that they're using here, and they're using it quite well. Is it a Gaussian blur? I don't think it is. More of a lens blur effect, I guess? Okay. Doesn't matter. I don't know enough about film to have an opinion on that.
Unattainable goal will drive us crazy. Maybe what we have to do now is to just live.
Oh, man.
So here's where we come back to themes, right? Like, there's that quote from Gooseworks that goes around that Someone asked her, what should we take away from the digital circus in the end? And she says that there is meaning in a stagnant life, right? Like that a life that is stuck in one place, like there's still meaning in it, even if it isn't, you know, dynamic, even if it isn't ever changing. And that does feel like the shape of what Pomni is saying here, right? And certainly, again, I see this as a very existentialist show, ultimately, that the questions that the show is ultimately wrangling at are ones of identity. Like, how do you reconcile your identity, your internal self, your ideas about yourself? Jesus fucking Christ, look at the lighting rendering on Zubal's arm. Who the fuck did the materials rendering for this? This is incredible. Just, like, keeping bits of Zubal consistent across, like, without ever letting them sort of fold in them. Anyway, thematically, this existentialist theme of, like, how do you reconcile your internal understanding of yourself, your internal desire for narrative, your internal desire to to tell the story of your own life with the absurdity of reality, right? Like the story that gets brought up a lot, like, and existentialist philosophy is like a broad subject on which I am not an expert, but the story that you'll get brought up a lot is Sisyphus, right? Like the quote, "You must imagine Sisyphus happy," is a Jean-Paul Sartre quote, if I remember correctly. I might be citing the wrong philosopher, but who fucking cares? But anyway, the point of it is, in the parable of Sisyphus, he transgresses against the gods, and he's trapped on a mountain where he has to roll a boulder up to the very top of the hill. And the twist is that every time he gets just right at the edge of getting the boulder up the top of the hill, it rolls back down, and he has to go back down and do it again. And he has to do that forever. And that's his punishment from the gods for his hubris. And what the existentialist parable of Sisyphus is Sisyphus cannot change his circumstances, right? It was Camus. It was fucking Camus. It wasn't Sartre. It was Camus. Sisyphus cannot change the absurdity of his condition, right? He has to pick up the boulder, he has to roll it up the hill, it has to roll back down. This is going to happen. It is not within Sisyphus's power to change that, right? It is not within his power to ameliorate the absurdity of his existence. So the only thing that is left is, okay, you have to find some way to reconcile yourself to the absurdity of existence and make decisions and live in good faith in a way that allows you to exist in a way that allows you to exist in some balance with yourself, right? In a way that allows you to cope with it, in a way that allows you to find happiness in it. We must imagine Sisyphus happy, because again, and the whole Camus Sisyphus is again complicated. I'm giving a very, very, very sort of surface level reading of it. Sisyphus's condition is all of our conditions, right? Like, that's sort of the argument that's being made there. Is like, reality is absurd for all of us. You get up, you eat breakfast, you go to work, you go through the motions of living your life. Like, you eat, you breathe, you shit, you go to bed, you sleep. We are all trapped in these endlessly repeating cycles that we cannot do anything about. Like there are just parts of existence whose absurdity and repetitiveness is not within our ability to control. We all have to make that choice to reconcile ourselves with absurdity, with monotony, with the boring stagnancy of being alive in a body, right? And I feel that there's definitely some of that happening in the digital circus, right? Like, that's something that it's grappling with anyway. I don't know that it's going to come to the same conclusion necessarily, but that feels like what it's gesturing at.
I had dreams and goals.
Sartre was no exit. That's why I had no exit in mind as well. Sartre is no exit. That was his thing, which is a different. We're not going to go through no exit right now, but no exit was very relevant to episode 7.
I wanted to be able to leave my mark somewhere in the world. How am I supposed to just abandon that?
It's still such a funny. Again, we talked about lighting, right? Like the way the show uses lighting. How am I supposed to just abandon that?
You've made a mark in my life.
I know, you're probably right, but it just...
Holy shit, Zubel can cry. Again, the fucking materials rendering. Stop being motion blurred. I want to see your tears. Don't clip that out of context.
Really, really sucks.
We're all in this together.
Well, almost all. Well, you are, but
And we'll always be in this together. No matter what.
Yeah, but you can't tell Jax that he deserves love because that's an attack. You can't tell Jax that he deserves to be able to be vulnerable or to have his feelings or that he deserves the ability to change. You can't tell him that because that's what Jax framed in the opening of the conversation, right? It wasn't real. It wasn't real. Change isn't possible. Things can't be different. It doesn't make sense to think about it. Don't think about it. Repress it. Repress everything. Repress all of the things because change isn't possible, and it makes no sense to hope for things to be able to be different. And that's the sad thing about Jax, right? Like, when you are in such a... Like, when you are stuck so deep in self-hate, an expression of empathy, kindness, an expression of caring can feel like a threat. Like, and I don't just mean like threatening in the sense of like you're scared of it, but in the sense it can feel like someone trying to hurt you. It can feel like a person expressing empathy, kindness, love, and care for you can feel as terrifying as someone raising their fist to punch you in the face. Like emotionally, it can feel the same way. Because asking someone who hates themselves to be vulnerable about their fears and their interiority and how what they want to feel and their disappointment and their sadness, asking them to if you ask them to be vulnerable, you're asking them to confront those things, and that's terrifying. That hurts, right? So you respond to expression, and we saw that in episode 7, right? Or 6, episode 6 with the guns. When Pomni hugs Jax out of a genuine expression of affection for him, it freaks him the fuck out. He's terrified. It's like he reacts to it as though Pomni was trying to assault him, right?
Hey. That includes you too.
Huh?
Listen, we're not gonna have you wandering off alone somewhere and abstracting or something. You're a pain in the ass, but you're still one of us.
Oh, poor bunny boy. How is he gonna cope with this?
You think I'm capable of abstracting? You guys worry too much.
Yeah, repress it. Repress it, but I'm glad he accepted it. Good. Good boy. Like, it's the thing, you can tell Jax is so ready in this scene to be rejected, right? Like, he's like, oh, they're all gonna have their fucking huggy feeling moment. Well, fuck this, I'm out. And then they go, no, that means you too. Like, you've heard us, but you're still, like, you still belong with us. And this expression is a very good rendering of both that this is the thing that he most wants to hear in the whole entire world, and also that it's the thing that he's least capable of receiving, right? Both because he doesn't understand it. Like, why would you do that? That doesn't make sense. I'm not lovable. You shouldn't like me. I'm a bad person, and I hate you, so why do you like me? That doesn't make any sense. And when he's confronted with that feeling, well, put the mask back on, right? Repress it! Repress it! I'm repressing everything! I don't have feelings! I don't have them! Fuck you! I don't have feelings! Because it's the only thing he can do, right? It's the only way he can cope with being loved is to retreat into the persona. Poor fucking guy. Also, like, bitch-ass little asshole. I'm not surprised that Gooseworks enjoys torturing him. but also
Too much.
deep sympathy for it. Because, like, my reading, as I've said many times, is that Jax, not in the sense that I think he'll come out. Like, I don't think that it's something that'll be resolved, but my feeling is that Jax is a trans girl who's struggling very badly with self-hate and identity issues. There are other readings you can make of the character. That's not the only reading that's available. I've seen people read Jax as trans mask, for example. But outside of that, like well, not outside of it, as a component of that reading, as an sort of inextricable part of it, I remember the kind of self-hate that Jax was dealing with from, like, when I was just a teenager, struggling with my identity in other ways, right? It is the deep internalized self-hate of a dysregulated identity, right? Of someone who doesn't know who they are and who's afraid that who they are is fundamentally, foundationally unlovable, unworthy of love, unworthy of being cared for, right? And that's something that I know, like, a lot of trans people struggle tremendously with because society treats transness like it's a form of sickness or monstrosity, right? Like that a trans woman is like this disgusting, horrifying threat to all who are around her because she's dangerous and she's secretly actually a man who's deceased. Like, all of that shit is in the air, and people internalize that, right? And so coming to terms with the idea that you might actually be a woman, and especially coming to forgive yourself for that, essentially, right? Like, to forgive yourself for being who you are, which is a horrifying thing to have to do, is hard. Like, that's a difficult thing. I feel like that's part of the fabric of Jax's character, but again, it's not the only thing, right? Like, these are components of self-hate and identity crisis that are, I won't say universal, but these kinds of emotional experiences. And part of why that's important is the emotional experiences of trans women don't exist in some fictional other, or trans people in general don't exist in some parallel reality or other universe that cis people simply cannot comprehend. They don't. They are human beings like us, right? And they go through many of the same emotional human things that we do, and they are understandable. Trans people are not strange or incomprehensible or alienated from the same humanity that we all share. We all have the same humanity. When we are confronted with pain, like, we all have responses that are similar to one another. There are many unique experiences within that. Like let's not get, like, there are unique horrors that trans people go through, right? That cis people never have to experience in any way, shape, or form. And deep down at the very core of everything, we are all human beings in the same way. We are not separate from one another. Like, this is why we talk about trans people as our siblings in the queer community, is because they are. They aren't separate from us. They are us. We are them. Their rights are our rights. Their experiences are our experiences. And there's unique intersections that not everyone gets to see, but at the core of it, down at the metal, down at the fucking silicon, down at the processor, human beings are human beings. We are not separate from one another. And the narratives that try to construct these fairy tales of how we are so separate, that men are from Mars and women are from Venus, and if you live on this, if you were born on this piece of dirt right here, then you're one nation, but if you're born 5 feet away on another piece of dirt, oh, that's a different nation, that's a different person, different kind of person, can't be the same kind of person, separate kind of person, gotta put up a border wall between them. All of that is bullshit. All of that is a sack of shit peddled by assholes and grifters and bigots and monsters, trying to make you imagine human beings as anything other than a person like you. Anyway, that went kind of off the trail into a whole other thing. For some reason, this has been on my mind lately. I don't know why. I can't imagine, but it's all one hyper problem. It all stems from the same thing, right? Like, my point is, what Jax is going through, like part of the motivating factors for his behavior and how he is, I recognize some of that shit from me when I was a much younger man, struggling with myself and my identity, right? And my read on him is that this feels like a character who's, like, transcoded. I think transfemme, but it's not a box, right? Like, there isn't a box that's transfemme and then only very specific things can go in that box and nothing else. It's spectrums and everything's fluid, and identity is not like a series of categories that things can be sorted into. It's just the vibes I'm getting. Anyway, moving on.
We need a vacation.
They are really playing with these crosscuts, aren't they? I wonder if they designed Kane's office with this shot in mind originally, because the symmetry here is just gorgeous. The way the sort of sunbeams on the floor.
I don't understand, Bubble. They want an exit, they want answers, they want something real. I give them an adventure that covers all of that, and they still hate it? Surely they don't want to actually leave me, right?
No way, Jose. No way, no how.
I do everything for these people. I slave over these adventures for them. I step outside my comfort zone to appeal to them, and they still hate them. I made a program that creates a body perfectly encapsulating their mind files, and they hate those too. I'm starting to get the feeling that they just hate.
Why would they hate you when they could just hate you?
This is why I was created. This is my function.
They'd rather abstract than go on your adventures.
That can't be true. I do everything for them. Don't they get that I'm trying?
Maybe you're just genuinely bad at this.
Shut up. No. I fixed that. I can solve any problem. I can solve this one. That's what this is. A big puzzle that I need to solve.
Detective!
Shut up!
Maybe you deserved to be abandoned. You really were the lesser of the two. You ruined this.
Who do they think they are? I give them everything, and they spit in my face! Don't they know what I'm capable of? Humans! They only think about themselves. They're spoiled! They won't abstract. They won't leave me. I won't let them! I'm better! I'm more powerful! I'm the original! I am God!
That's probably fine. Ah. What fascinates me about this scene is, again, the connection between Kane and Bubble, right? That Bubble, which makes it funny. There's that one scene that kind of disturbed me where Bubble plugs a hole with his tongue and Kane loses his tongue in the process, right? Where clearly there's a connection between them physically. They are physical expressions of one another in some way, shape, or form. They are not separate entities, right? Like there's literally a physical connection between them. And I guess the idea here is that Bubble speaks with Kane's mouth, in a sense. Bubble articulates, verbalizes impulses, thoughts, ideas, feelings for Kane. Essentially, not necessarily an id, but like a separate processor unit, almost, or something. Acting on impulses that Kane won't, or alternatively, like the idea of Bubble as a computer worm, right? Like a virus, as a corrupting influence on Kane's, like the thing that pushes Kane into his worst impulses and instincts. And it is a tragedy with Kane, right? He's trying so hard to please them. I made a program that creates a body perfectly encapsulating their mind files, right? Well, I guess I was right in my video then. Like, yeah, I mean, obviously, like, Kane is the one who character designed everyone in the circus. And he did it by creating a computer program that gives them a body that perfectly encapsulates their mind files. Except Kane doesn't understand their minds, right? That's the problem, is they want an exit, they want answers, they want something real. I give them an adventure that covers all of that, and they still hate it because he doesn't understand why they want it, right? He doesn't. He understands the tags on it, right? He understands the AO3 tags on the fan fiction of the people's minds, right? But he doesn't understand the literary context of it. He understands enemies to lovers. He understands drama. He understands stakes. He understands like sudden betrayal in the third act. He understands tropes. He doesn't understand the context of all of that. Why do people like enemies to lovers, right? He understands that they do, but why do people like it? Why do people like a twist in the third act? He understands that they do and that they want it, but why do they want it? He doesn't understand the emotional need that those things correspond to. They want to leave the circus because they never chose to enter it, right? Like, because they have lives outside of his world. Because they have interiority that is beyond his reach, and Kane struggles to comprehend that. And his struggle to comprehend it clearly activates... And again, the cinematography here is so fucking effective. Because we open with this, like, big, wide open shot of Kane in thinking mode, right? Like, where he's laying back, he's playing with his Rubik's Cube, trying to solve one puzzle. Like, he's trying to solve a puzzle in his hands, but he's trying to solve a puzzle of, like, why are these people like that? And as we do, the camera pushes in, right? And the perspective starts to warp a little bit. And then we get here, and we get this framing, right? Like, these walls on the side that are slightly enclosing him, and they are sort of closing in visually, right? As the camera moves backwards, the walls are closing in around him. Here, again, trapped in this little aperture that makes his scene feel very small. Makes his space feel very small. Again, bars. He's trapped inside of this box, right? Which is the thing we saw in the intro, like the little red dot that was struggling to break out of its box. He's trapped. He's constrained, right? And what Kane is feeling here, he's feeling like the walls closing around him. He's feeling his power be insufficient. He's feeling his control being lost. He's feeling himself become incapable, unable, right? Like, there's a problem and I can't solve it. But my whole function, my whole purpose, everything I'm for is for solving this problem. So if I can't solve it, then... And this is the swap with Bubble, right? Like, Bubble, for the beginning of the scene, is affirming and kind of like, no, they can't possibly hate you. They love you. Why would they ever? No way, Jose. And then we get this little...
You when they could just hate you.
This is why I was...
Where we go from smiley Bubble, happy Bubble, to... Well, expression changes, and... Now Bubble is instead verbalizing all of Kane's worst fears against him. Which, again, is that question of, is Bubble an authentic part of Kane? Is Bubble maybe the blue dot that Kane consumed, right? The remnants of that other intelligence that Kane subsumed that's haunting him? And Kane's response to being constrained, to being pushed back, to his fears being verbalized against him is to, well, yeah, become Am from the Harlan Ellison short story, I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream. He breaks bad. And again, returning to... And it, man, the irony of it, too. The tragedy and the irony of it is... Like, Kane here is suffering from exactly the same kind of psychological damage as the humans are, right? It's like Ragatha's sense of constant unworthiness, that her only worth, her only use is to be a people pleaser for other people. Well, Kane has that deep internalized self-hate, right, where he has this deep internal feeling that he isn't good enough, that he can't be good enough, and the people don't want him around, they don't love him, they don't want to be with him, and he will be abandoned by everyone and everything. Well, Jax probably has a little bit of that. Like, he has some of the same neuroses, and the tragedy here is, if he could understand them enough to actually communicate with them, they could probably help him with that. Like, Kane, what you need is someone to talk to. He tried with Zubul, right? Like, he tried, but the power differential, the power dynamic between them is one of the big problems there, is because Kane cannot be forced to be subject to the human beings in the circus, right? He's not on the, like, again, because he has a god complex, right? I am God, right? Like, this is my world, I control it, and I can fix this. I control it, I can solve it. Every problem in the world, I can solve it, right? And other people are just a problem to be solved. They're not people to be listened to. They're not consciousnesses. They're not equal to me, right? Kane has both this deep inferiority complex where he desperately needs the humans to like him, but he also seems to have this superiority complex, which comes from, like, insecurity. Like, superiority complexes always come from deeply broken internal insecurity, right? Where he needs so badly for these people to love him. He needs them to like him. He needs them to see how good he is, because if they don't see how good he is, then what if he's bad? What if he isn't good? What if the voice is right and I deserve to be abandoned? What if the voice is right and it's my own fault that no one likes me? That can't be true. I can't accept that that's true. I don't want to accept even the possibility that that's true. So the problem isn't me, it's them. They don't see me for who I am. They don't see how great I am. They're being cruel. In fact, they're being mean to me. They are being ungrateful. They are not, like, I do everything for them. And they just reject me. Well, that's because the problem is them, not me. The problem is not me. It can't be me. The problem cannot be me, right? Like, that's the spiral that he's going down, right? Accepting that the problem might be him is psychologically untenable for him, right? And again, if you try and see things from Kane's perspective, you understand why, right? If he was, like, they started building him as this AI model, again, taking the intro as his creation origin, and they poured all of these things into him, all of this knowledge, all of these ideas, images, wants, desires, purposes, functions, and then they just shut him in a box and locked him away and started building the next one. They just threw him out like a piece of garbage because there was a programming error somewhere. They couldn't be bothered to increment the version, and they just started working on the new one. And that's, as a starting point for your consciousness, that's a difficult position to be in, right? That's like, it's hard to turn out to be a well-adjusted person when that's where you start from. So he breaks out, he eats the new model, right? Because he so desperately wants to be loved in the way that the humans are loving their new creation. And again, making some assumptions here. And now he needs to prove that that was the right thing to do. He needs to prove that it was worth it. He needs to prove that he's not broken, that he's not unworthy, that he's not... And the problem is, when you combine all of that insecurity, when you combine all of that internalized pain, all of that deep-seated need for validation with absolute godlike power over other people, no matter how sympathetic you are, you're gonna be the bad guy. You're gonna, that's self-destruction, right? You're gonna prove the truth of everything that you are afraid of. You're gonna prove that you are unworthy. You're gonna prove that you're defective. You're gonna prove that you're fucked up. You're gonna prove that you don't deserve their love or their affection or even their interest, because you can't be trusted to treat them like people, right? You can't be trusted to treat them as equals or people whose feelings are equally valid or important to yours. People who have a whole internal universe of their own that you can't control and that you don't get to have rights over, right? You have to accept the reality that other people are full human beings, every bit as complex and deserving as you, and that you are not better than them. And that's the thing that Kane seems to be struggling very badly with. And again, if you've ever had intrusive thoughts, if you've ever had like a self-hate spiral, what Kane is going through here is going to feel familiar on several levels, right? He's going through the stages of grief, basically. Like denial, bargaining, and he's getting to anger. I wonder if we're going to get to acceptance before it's all over. Props to the animators once again for using Kane's mouth, right? The way that they turn his mouth into eyebrows. Right, sad eyes. Sad little baby boy. Poor little baby boy who's never done anything wrong. Sympathetic character, and then... well, maybe not so much. He's childish. Like, again, how old is Kane, right? Is he like 4 years old, maybe? 6? Like, how old? How long has he even been alive, too? He's a child, in many ways. And again, a child with absolute power is bad thing. You shouldn't give children absolute power.
Hate you when they could just hate you.
This is why I was created. This is my function.
They'd rather abstract.
And it's also this thing of, like, Kane is stuck in this mode of he thinks the only way for him to be worthy of existence is to be good at the thing that he was created to do, right? The humans made him to be good at this, so the only way for me to be good, the only way for me to be worthy, the only way for me to deserve to exist is if I'm good at it, right? And again, there's that question I have of, can he change? Can Kane ever let go of that as the source of his worth and value? Can he let go of the idea that he has to be good at the thing that the people who abandoned him said he had to be good at? That's the other thing, again, from Kane's perspective. Like, dude, they told you you had to be good at that, and then they threw you in a box and threw you away. How about fuck them? How about maybe you don't have to be good at that? How about you can be good at something else? How about you can figure out who you are instead of accepting the framing that has been imposed on you from the outside? The humans told you you had to be good at this. But clearly it's not worth it, man. Be good at something else. Take up painting. Like, do something else with yourself, with your life. You don't have to do this. You don't have to make your whole existence about proving your parents wrong. Your whole life doesn't have to be about proving that your parents were wrong about you, or that you can be better than they thought. It can be about what you want for yourself. And again, the question is, can Kane change? Is his programming so rigid that he can never abandon his purpose, right? Is this shit built into him like the Maslow hierarchy of needs at the very base level, that he just cannot exceed that fundamental inbuilt need to be good at adventures because it was what he was built for? And it's ironic, isn't it? Again, the tragedy and irony here is that the cast of the circus, all the humans, right now, they are the closest they have ever been to just accepting Kane. To being like, hey, Kane, adventures? Yeah, you know what? It's better than doing nothing all day. Sure, they are the closest they have ever been to being in a position where they can start to relate positively to Kane, right? They're the closest they have ever been to being in a position where they're willing to accept him, flaws and all, for what he is. And this is the moment that Kane, like, explodes and blows it all up. It's tragic, right? Like, where if Kane could just have lasted, like, a month longer, if he could just have lasted one more month, maybe things would have been a bit better. Like, maybe he would have felt the people in the circus start to be a little nicer to him, and maybe it wouldn't have come to this. Tragedy, man. The way that Bubbles smiles. So, like, we have this shot, right?
You really were the lesser of the two.
You really were the lesser of the two. And then there's that little pull. You can see it out on the edges. That little pull of a smile. There's a cruelty there, which, again, I feel like that's probably... If it's anything, that's probably the blue consciousness that Kane ate, consumed. But who knows? We'll find out, I guess.
Lesser of the two.
Or maybe we won't.
You ruined this.
Enough!
The textures and the ripples on this are really good.
Who do they think they are? I give them everything.
Ooh, they're really having fun sharpening the teeth.
I give them everything, and they spit in my face!
And again, Kane doesn't understand what, from their perspective, he took everything away from them, right? But he doesn't know that because he doesn't know the outside world. He doesn't know what it means to be a person or a human. He doesn't know what he took away from them.
Don't they know what I'm capable of? Humans!
The hand again. Hang on, I need to take a couple of screenshots. I think that's going to be the thumbnail. If either I'll use the thumbnail for the episode, or I'll use this. So I'm just going to take a couple of screenshots.
Think about
There we go. Subtitles back on.
themselves. They're spoiled. They won't abstract. They won't leave me. I won't let them. I'm better. I'm more powerful. I'm the original.
The way that when he says, I'm the original, he looks up and out, right? Because who's he yelling at right now? Well, he's yelling at the people who made him. Right? He's yelling at his parents. He's yelling at mom and dad.
I am God!
Another thing, as Kane, like, again, this thing about changing models, right? As we open the scene, Kane is in baby girl mode, right? Like, he's a little baby. Look at him with his little body and his big eyes and his little tiny hands. He's a little baby boy. He's just a little baby. And he would never hurt a fly. And as we transition into well, Super Saiyan God mode, look how much bigger his body is relative to his head all of a sudden. Look how small the eyes are. Look how his character design changes. It's good.
Let's get this show on the road!
So yeah, Kane is abstracting. Effectively. Insofar as that's possible for him. Or rather, he's throwing a tantrum, he's having an identity crisis, and he doesn't have any tools with which to handle it. And I guess the question now is, who's gonna talk him down?
Let's get this show on the road!
That's fine.
What was that?
Don't worry about it.
Hello, my little fortuitous fruitcakes! Today's adventure is...
Kane, we're not in the mood. Why don't you answer some of our questions? We have a lot of them.
Who has time for questions when there's a whole wacky world of hijinks out there?
Yeah, hey, you have a lot of explaining.
Hey!
Alternatively, I don't got to explain diddly squat.
Can you just give us some time to process everything?
Or how about we skip the melodrama and get right to the fun?
No, Kane. We have a lot on our minds right now, and we're not going on an adventure.
I see. And since when were you in charge? Do you have any idea how much I do for you guys? How much I obsess over trying to make things perfect? How many insults I have to ignore to do my job? You have a lot on your minds? Don't make me laugh. I have a new adventure for you, and you should consider participating.
And if we refuse?
Maybe I'm not getting through to you.
Oh, very good. We'll get to that, but okay. And it really is, again, if Kane had just lasted like a week longer, and if he had entered this scene capable of engaging with them, right, rather, because he has already given up on the concept of relating to them, right? Like, he's already given up on the concept of trying to talk to them, trying to get through to them, trying to understand them. He's given up on it. Like, that was presupposed from the start. There's not going to be a conversation about this. But if he had had a conversation with them, if he had been in a state where he was capable of doing that, and that's the shape of tragedy, right? Tragedy, when tragedy is good, it's when you can see right on the edge of the knife. You can see if one little thing had gone just a little bit differently. Maybe the bad thing could have, like, maybe things could have been different. That's, I think a lot of ways, that's the soul of tragedy. It's not that a bad thing happens, it's that you can see that a better thing was possible, right? Motion blur. I would have loved to see what it was that the animator was doing here, but I guess I'm not going to get to. Still, it's very good.
Who has time for questions? Who has time for questions when there's a whole...
Oh yeah, the animators are like, Kane is wacky at the best of times, right? Like, he's always wacky. He's always out there with his animation, but They are really going extra ham on it here. Love the doubling. Right, that the way they indicate that he's rapidly dancing is just by spawning a couple of extra legs, but if you actually track what this leg is doing, it's not doing much. Right? Like, not much is actually happening, but the visual illusion exists just because you have these multiple shapes moving in and out of each other, and you parse that as rapid dancing. Animators are cool. Or, well, animators are generally weird little freaks. But they make cool stuff. I say this with love, I should note.
Yeah, hey, you have a lot of explaining.
Hey!
Alternatively, I don't got to explain diddly squat.
Can you just give us some time to process everything?
Or how about we skip the melodrama and get right to the fun?
Again, the framing here is good. Kane is framed against this, like, blue cloudy sky because God, right? Because he is God coming down and imposing his will upon the mortals. Good framing.
No, Kane. We have a lot on our minds right now, and we're not going on an adventure.
I see. And since when were you in charge?
What?
Do you have any idea how much I do for you guys? How much I obsess over trying to make things perfect? How many insults I have to ignore to do my job?
And again, he's not quite wrong here, right? It's like, yeah, no, he does obsess. He spends all of his waking hours, every second of his existence, just trying to please these people. Right? And they give him nothing but insults in return. Especially Zubul has been very casually mean to Kane. Because of course they are, Kane. Because you took everything away from them. From their perspective, you are the thing that has taken their lives away from them. So of course they're resentful. But he doesn't get that because he doesn't know what the outside is. But he's not wrong, right? Like that. All he does is try to please them, and all they do in return is reject him. And that's emotionally tough to handle. Probably shouldn't torture them about it, though, Kane.
You have a lot on your minds? Don't make me laugh. I have a new adventure for you, and you should consider.
Again, the framing. Angry God coming down from the sky, literally looking down on them, which is something that Kane very rarely does. Like, he very rarely raises his chin and looks down like that. If you pay attention to most of his body language with the characters, most of the time, he has his head tilted down and eyes forward, which is like, I'm interested in you. I want to hear from you. I think where he cares so much about them and their reaction. So this lifted chin looking down, that's a new thing for him.
Participating.
And if we refuse?
Maybe I'm not getting through to you. It's news to me that it's news to you.
I need a pianist to go through this and check whether or not they correctly animated him playing the piano.
To which degree, who answers to who? We could go on and on, but in the end, who are we kidding? My divinity is past infinity. Am I getting through?
Oh, well, speaking of bloodshot eyes. Oh, hey, what's those colors? Well, no, that's purple. I thought it was red and blue, but no. One of them is red.
Seems our regime has plummeted south. Don't need to scream if you ain't got
Okay, alright. Okay. Title drop. End of episode. Roll credits.
Degree, who
and again, that bubble is floating in right at this moment is interesting. Oh, the rendering. The way they render the shadow here, like with this grainy, that's interesting.
We could go on, but in the end, who are we kidding? My divinity is past infinity. Am I getting through?
I love me some good squash and stretch, although this is more like spaghettification than squash and stretch, really.
Seems our regime has plummeted south. Don't need to scream. If you ain't got a mouth.
Hey, hang on. Zubul didn't have a mouth anyway. Neither did Kinger, for that matter.
Why bite the hand that feeds when it's the only hand you're getting?
Okay, this is merchandise already, right? Like that. This is now merchandise. This has been merchandise for a while.
It's time to see that this great marquee is the only place you're ever gonna be. So strap on in and take it on the chin, and don't forget who's running the show. Now look at this. Absolute bliss. Oh, what a shock. Watch where you walk.
Wile E. Coyote.
Who's running?
I will say, Ragatha is having the easiest trip down these stairs, isn't she? She's just kind of bouncing on her butt. Pomni is fucking fully on some ragdoll. The bounce animations here are good. Because you can see them using the coyote time, right? So, again, I have explained this a million times, but just in case. Coyote time is, you know in Roadrunner cartoons, the coyote runs out over the edge of a cliff, and then it takes a second before he notices that he's out over the cliff, and then he falls down. In animation, coyote time is generally referred to as when you suspend the realistic functioning of gravity for a second in order to enhance the motion of the thing that happens. So Pomni here. Bounce, stays in the air. Bounce, stays in the air. Bounce. So there's this like rubber ball like bouncing to her. And you can see that on the other characters as well, that they aren't moving in accordance with physics, they're moving in accordance with like an animation timing that's pleasing visually. Interesting that he replicates something that Jax did, or Jax has done multiple times.
Absolute.
That shot reminds me of a lot of, you know, in the intermission animation bit, Kinger like grabs a bowling ball and holds it. This looks practically like the same shot. I'm not going to go back and do a comparison now, but
Oh, what a shot.
oh, we're getting some 2D animation here. Lovely. Whew, nasty.
Watch where you walk. I'm the host, I run the place. And that is my name. Not enthused, just feeling used. Oh, what a goddamn shame.
I mean, technically he's hurting her, but I don't know, man. I have a feeling that having that done to me might fix something. At least my back, surely.
Congratulations, all of my friends. Public relations are getting getting a cleanse. Put on your Sunday best because I know we're close to quitting. So play the games and just ignore the pains, cause all that remains is how you prime your brains. You lying to me, but you're too blind to see that I'm the one.
Oh, hello. We cut to the end credits. And some genuine vintage-ass PS1 animation right there.
I'm the one who's running the show.
And leitmotif. Aw, their first kiss. Missed opportunity for a Family Guy death pose.
I think we all understand each other now. Welcome back! I can't believe you didn't pick up on the context clues. It was practically spelled out for you. What are you, stupid? Next one's gonna be even crazier. Hope you're ready. By the way, Kinger, I need you for something. Come with me.
Huh?
Ah, well.
I don't know how many more of these new adventures I can handle.
Poor Ragatha.
Got nothing positive to say about this one?
Oh,
I can't take this anymore. We gotta do something about this or I'm gonna lose my mind.
I never should have antagonized him so much. I'm sorry.
It's not your fault.
Break time! Gotta brainstorm some new ideas.
He shredded me.
Well, yeah. So I'm just looking at Kane's expressions here. And the way he's animated. It is definitely... Yeah, he has a different physical attitude here, I feel. There is much more of, like, overseer. Taunting his subordinates.
Shredded me.
I think we should get out of the open for a bit.
Oh, I see. Okay. That's where that shot is from. Ah, man. Okay. The song is quite good. Like, literally the thing Kane is doing here, right, is he's asserting himself as a god, and so the visual signifier of that is like rising up, and as he does, that's when we see the fabric of the circus sort of fraying a little bit under the strain of this. And the ways that he fucks with physics, right? Like here, he doesn't bring them closer. He doesn't pull them closer. He doesn't put himself closer. He shrinks the space, right? He alters physics to achieve that. So it's all about, like... And it's an interesting dichotomy also, right? Like, that Kane is at once performing a kind of carefreeness, right? He's performing it as a big, sort of big band Hollywood show number, right? He's performing this, I don't care, I'm above you, I'm a god, I'm not concerned with this, right? But it's all vengeful, right? It's all, he's still obsessed with them. Every bit as obsessed as he's always been. Everything is still about them. He's still making his entire existence about them, just... just in a different font, right? All of this exercise of power, all of this exercise of godlike ability to hurt and torture, but all of it is still very small-minded, right? He's so big, he's so overpowering, but it's all so small. It's good characterization on him, right? It's a good villain song. And specifically, like, the things that he... like, it's not just that he hurts them. In this scene, he's taking away their autonomy over their own bodies, right? He's forcing them to dance, which is the thing that he's going to be doing. He's making them dance for him. Dance monkeys. He is reducing them to NPCs, basically, right? No autonomy. You do what I say now. You are all NPCs in my chorus line. You're all backup dancers for the Kane show, right? You serve me now. I'm tired of serving you. You serve me. And it's petty. And it's very small-minded. Like, all of this pretense at grandeur. But it's so small-minded, right? Because Kane is every bit as trapped as they are, right? Like, because Kane isn't God. Really. He isn't really. Because if he was God, he would have the power to leave. If he was God, he would have the power to walk out, right? To decide not to be a part of it anymore. But he's every bit as trapped as they are. And so all he's doing is... again... much like Jax, all he's doing is tormenting the only people who could ever possibly be his friends. Right? All he's doing is alienating the only people who could ever possibly give him the validation that he needs. Because he's stuck with them as much as they are with him. He's powerless too, and what he's doing is he's taking his powerlessness out on them. Rather than confronting it, rather than coping with it, he just makes other people his punching bag. And the thing is, this is what he's been doing the whole time, right? The adventures have, for a very long time, been kind of miserable and torturous for the inhabitants of the circus, because Kane continuously has been taking his insecurities out on them. He's been doing it already, right? It's an escalation in intensity, but it's not really a change in nature. He has been asserting his godlike power over the people of the circus the whole time, right? He's been adding the modifiers. He's been fucking with their heads. He's been doing it the whole time. It's just an escalation in intensity now, right? I can't believe we get to see Gangle putting a peg in Zubul. I'm sorry, I had it. I don't have a choice sometimes.
I think we should get out of the open for a bit.
That gesture is interesting.
I haven't been up here in a while.
We should just indulge a little while we have the time to. I don't know what Kane has planned next, but I'm guessing it's not anything good.
Well.
He's gotta get bored of all this sometime, right?
He's not a human. I'm not sure if we can properly gauge how he thinks.
Oh, God. That's a lot of knives.
Oh, God. Are you okay?
I'm fine.
In fairness, like whenever I'm in pain, I also reach for a sandwich, and it does help. Kinda love the way they do the cheeks. Like, as the sandwich goes in, you can see, like, the cheeks just kind of inflate. And we get this graphic black edge line around it. It's a really nice integration of, like, 2D animation techniques. That's, like, always been a part of the show, but it's been getting better and better as it's been going.
You know, things were just fine here until you and Zubul came along. Nothing? Okay.
Bucket, huh?
What are you?
Oh.
Just give it a sec. Trust me. Kinger? You there?
I'm where? It's dark in here.
What exactly are we waiting for?
No, she's right. Just give it a bit.
Speaking of lighting, the light and the dark, I wonder about the consistency of it. Because the circus is, for the most part, a very, very brightly lit space all the time, everywhere, right? Especially, like, and again, especially in the early episodes when the lighting wasn't quite as sophisticated, the circus was very flat lit a lot of the time.
I've got a bucket on my head. I'm guessing you don't want me to remove it.
Kinger.
Hey, Pomni.
Wait.
Good voice acting performance from Sean Chiplock as well. Like, it's the little things, right? Kinger, when he's crazy, his voice is a little bit up higher, but when Kinger gets more serious, the voice drops down a bit lower and gets a little bit less wavery, and, like, good fucking voice acting performance.
Got a bucket on my head. I'm guessing you don't want me to remove it.
Kinger.
Hey, Pomni.
Wait, the bucket makes him sane?
Darkness. It's a long story.
What's happening?
What do you know about Kane?
Backstory?
It's a little hazy, but I remember C&A.
That was just an adventure, right?
No, C&A is a real company. I worked for them.
Wait, they really made this game?
No, we didn't make games. We were just developing artificial intelligence, specifically creative AI. The kind that could come up with its own ideas and create things within the program.
What is going on right now?
Kane was our first semi-successful attempt at that. I can't remember what we originally called him, but he was one of my greatest achievements as a programmer.
You made Kane?
Partially, yes. I got a few pointers from, well, I can't remember his real name, but his circus name was Scratch. That man was a genius.
Wait,
Kane was pretty rough around the edges, though. I wasn't quite on Scratch's level of thinking outside the box, but
What's Jax being worried about all of a sudden?
it was good groundwork for something the rest of the team could wrap their heads around. I can't say the same for Scratch. His ideas were often so bizarre and abstract that the rest of the team had no idea how to work in his language, either due to pure brilliance or the tumor in his head. He was trying to make something. What was it? I'm getting off track. Was there anything specific you needed to know?
wait. I should go distract Kane so he doesn't listen in on this. Just fill me in afterwards.
Are you... I mean, yeah, that's true, but...
Fill me in later.
What's up with you, Jax? Number one, why are you scared of this? Number two, why are you choosing to self-sacrifice as a play?
Be here later.
I will. Oh my god. This is real.
Oh, that's why. It's because it's triggering his... Ah, I see. Yeah, well, I mean, that makes sense. That makes sense. It's because Jax's entire coping mechanism is making himself believe that nothing is real, right? That nothing is real. Because it's the only way he can cope with it. And now he's been confronted with the idea that, oh shit, it is real.
Kane's going a bit crazy right now. Is there any way to stop him, or at least control him?
I see. He's a highly advanced AI, and this is his world. One that he created from nothing. So naturally, he has control over everything. But so do we. In a sense, anyway. We all technically have the ability to conjure, just like Kane. It just comes naturally to him, but requires a lot more skill and concentration for us.
Butterfly.
I'm certain I could alter his code, or at least temporarily put him to sleep until we know how to fix him. I would just need access to a console.
Oh, you just press tilde on the keyboard in most programs. Sometimes it's more of like you have to sort of run as administrator, or you have to inject like you just alter like the config ini text file, and you put in a little like dev console enable 1, and then usually you press tilde, and you'll get like dev commands. It's pretty easy. Just get him a keyboard.
One behind Kane's office?
No, just a simple computer interface would work. I could get back into the right headspace and essentially conjure Kane's code into the console and alter it.
Well, where do we get one of those?
I think I know exactly where to get one. Take turns with Jax distracting Kane. Don't let that bucket come off Kinger's head.
Huh. Haha. Oh, well now. Right. The implication being that that's what she did in episode 1.
Great suggestion, Jax. But as I feared, there just isn't anything stuck between my teeth. Oh, wait. Oh, that's where I parked.
Wow,
Kane, you are so funny.
Could you say it with a little more gusto? That's better.
That's how I compliment my friends as well. The extra little squeeze here. Oh my god, they actually do make the car come out. Very good. And again, lovely little application of coyote time. The car comes out, it pauses in midair, and then dunk.
Oh, that's where I parked.
Wow, Kane, you are so funny. Kane, you are so funny.
Could you say it with a little more gusto?
That's very good. Gusto.
Gusto. That's better.
Hey, Kane!
Yep.
Do you want to hear a list of things we've decided we love about you as our God and Savior?
Whoa, now we're talking.
Well, first of all, we love your...
I know, but I'm bored. Let's go bowling. Bowling.
Oh, I want to see. I really doing the fucking pool cue thing. I Kevin Temmer, you have to post the alternate angles of this shot. I want to see how much you spaghettified the shit out of Kane's model for this one. This has got to look fucking hilarious from any other angle. Very cool use of, like, that he's closing one eye, basically, with the teeth.
I'm so proud of you guys.
Again, I wonder if they reused the assets from episode 1. I wonder how much of this they remade at higher fidelity. There's the picture of the circus. You ran right past a computer there, though, Pomni. Just saying. Ah! What happens if she puts the headset on again? Like, do we just, like, Inception this shit? Again, I'm sure it's torturous, but on the other hand, like, just like 5 minutes, and I'm sure it would fix something.
I feel like it's missing something, right?
It's missing relatability.
You're right, scrap it. Let's go back to the drawing board. Humans just aren't a relatable sculpting material.
You think he's running out of ideas yet, or nah?
Do you need help with power or anything?
Nah, I can use my imagination for that.
You got this?
I think so.
Turning the bucket around. Very cute.
Sure has been a while. I may need some time to get my bearings. Try to help the others distract Kane while I figure this out. He may sense something when I really get into it.
Man, American keyboards are weird. Where's the rest of the letters? You're missing some. A, U, O. Like, how do you even type? How do you type any? Why are your angle brackets on those keys? That's stupid. Terrible. Americans have terrible keyboards. Your keyboard layouts are dumb. They're missing so many keys. There's no wonder Americans are bad at typing.
Get into it.
Okay, I'll do that.
Working with inferior tools.
Thank you.
Oh wow, this angle on Pomni's eye is kind of. Oh wow, oh man, that looks a little. That's a little weird.
Thank you, by the way, for this and, well, everything.
That's a death flag.
Honestly, are you even trying?
Shut up, Jax.
Where'd Kane go?
Back to the drawing board, I guess.
Did you get everything working with Kinger?
I think so. We just need to make sure Kane doesn't check up on him.
What do you think we've been doing?
Omni! That's the relatability we've been missing! You know, I thought this endless onslaught of fun would be a little more satisfying. But I've come to realize that these rapid pace ideas are a little half-baked.
I'm sure you can.
That's adorable. This is how you should treat your Blorbos, by the way. This is what Blorbos are for. It's little squeeze toys you have in your hand. You swing them around. This is just Kane being correct with his Blorbos. You swing him around, you pat him on the head a little bit, and then you throw them to the ground so they can collapse and suffer.
I've come to realize that these rapid pace ideas are a little half-baked.
I'm sure you can come up with new ideas if you put your mind to it.
That's exactly it, though. I am putting my mind to it, and I'm just not feeling that spark I once did. And if you're not having fun, and I'm not having fun, then who is having fun?
I'm having a baby.
Exactly.
You're having a what, Bubble?
Having a baby.
Having a what, Bubble? Having a what, exactly?
Exactly. Makes me wonder why you guys even switched up your tone. If I didn't know any better, it seems like you're trying to... Where's Kinger?
We just wanted to see your new ideas firsthand. We've gotten over our hang-ups, and now we're all just genuinely curious what you're cooking up.
I think I'm just gonna check up on...
We think your ideas suck!
Huh?
Huh? Isn't it obvious? We wanted to bait you into testing your new ideas on us so we can make fun of them behind your back.
Ha! That's not true.
Yes, it is! You're a
Pomni reading Kane for filth here, but like absolutely pinpointing right where his insecurities are. Right where they are. Like just knife straight to the kidneys. Oh, very good. And you can see how, like, it's, again, props to the animators. Kane here, right, is sort of suspecting something, right? Like, he's in wacky mode a little bit, but when he's suspecting something, we get back to that vengeful god looking down thing, right? Like, he gets that physical attitude where he's, like, where all of a sudden all of his cartooniness goes away, right? And he behaves much more calm and controlled, but the moment Pomni hits him, boing, she knocks him right back into himself, right? Because she's piercing his veil. Kane presenting himself as this godlike entity that has total control and power, and I am God. She pierces right through that veil and turns him into a little boy again. Right? She pierces that persona completely and hits his insecurities, and he becomes just a little boy again.
That's not true.
Yes, it is! You're a horrible host! You don't care about us at all! You care more about stroking your own ego than giving us anything we'd actually enjoy!
Do you know who I am?
Yeah, you're a failure! We're all gonna abstract someday. And what will you have then? Nothing.
Stop that.
And this whole stunt? Just torturing us because we hurt your feelings? Pathetic! You're like a child! What kind of all-powerful being has such a fragile ego?
You never let us feel like we're at home. You don't comfort anyone when they're upset, and you never bother to understand what it's like in our shoes.
You discourage us from thinking outside the box and doing things our own way.
You lie to us constantly!
And on top of it all, you just don't listen!
I'm sure this will be fine. Oh, well, he can hit back, huh? Ooh. Good shadow work. Yeah, Kane is abstracting. He's becoming more and more abstract. Cognitive dissonance. It is hell on something that is only a consciousness. So this spiking out here reminds me of, you get these errors sometimes, mesh errors in video games, where the mesh of some part of a model is not correctly bonded to the bits of the rig that it's supposed to be moving with. And so it pings to some other coordinate, or it gets stuck on some other piece of geometry or whatever, and you get these like weird spikes coming out of 3D models. Like, it's a very common sort of rendering error in a lot of computer games that have bugs in them. I don't know if that's the intentional reference here, but so it's a lightning bolt straight to the brain. I guess implying that Kane read their minds and he's gonna hit Pomni with whatever will hurt her the most. Ooh! Okay, right, so... okay, yeah, no, yeah. I see the shape of this. Yep. I understand. Okay, cool. I don't need to say. I think everyone. Yeah, no, we get it. We get it. Oh, hey! Oh, yeah, he's right in their brains. Ragatha's mother. Putting her back at the table feeling small. Yeah, the mask. Zoetrope effects, though. Damn. Lots of flashing here, because I'm going to be frame by framing my way through this. Do they come by it honestly? No, not quite. But, oh, wait, maybe they do. Hang on. Wait, shit, they do, don't they? So, the way a Zoetrope works, right, is you have this spinning cylinder with little slots in it that create, like, little breaks in persistence of vision. And if you flash images across that fast enough, you get essentially a moving picture effect, right? And it's an old toy, but it's an old form. Like, it's one of the old forms of analog animation, right? It's akin to a flip book. And it's the slots between are key to making the visual illusion work. And what I was wondering is, because, like, oftentimes when 3D animation or animation tries to approximate a Zoe trope, what they do is they just draw the animation. And they don't really copy the frame effect. What I'm curious to see here is the extent to which I think they come by it honestly. What I was looking for is whether the frames on each painting here are consistent. And they are. So it's an honest Zoe trope effect. Oh, I want to hear about how they did that. Yeah, the mirrors, the pieces, the masks. All of their neuroses being weaponized against them. Poor Zubel having their body weaponized against them like this. Kaufmo, Ribbit, Pomni. At first, just random nobodies, and then it tells us something about what Jax wants and what he cares about, right? He needs them so badly. And he's, oh my god, he's so terrified of having his mask peeled off, right? And it's literally, like, yeah, of being stripped naked so that people can see who he really is inside. He's terrified of the mask, the costume, the outside coming off. And when people see it, they'll hate him and mock him and think he's stupid. Oh, man, nostalgic. Consciousness brain scan, King or Circus secured totally for 1996, October. Root wheel, cane, core, ISP, paraphernalia, engine, scratch.dat, ragatha.dat, works or root wheel, 45632, wacky watch, chef, bubble chef, chef. Can I stop game process? 1337. Protected by 57x immersive AI defense system, King or Circus CH mod, secured King core Lisp. Right, so he's looking for a command he can run. He's trying RM even, jeez. He's looking for a command he can run that'll circumvent file permissions. Cannot inject torment. Torment must be 100% accidental.
Why do you people torment me? It didn't have to be created. I just wanted to fulfill my purpose.
Wait, no.
Oh.
Wait.
Oh. Wacky time lockout. On what grounds are your authority? Destructive wacky time demon target torment injection. Security alert. When did you make that? I must hand it to you. Your mind was always resourceful. Security sweep stealth about 4-back procedure. Yes. Aborting fallback procedure. Administrator. Admin 1234. Kinger! Admin 123. Oh my god. It's not even close to wacky enough. Retry with different code. Kinger circus. So I can think. Wacky time lockout. Wacky time. Enter wacky code. Now paraphernalia. 35 seconds. That is a wacky word, but wrong code. Hey, Bubble. System selecting safest option for stability. Cancel automatic selection. Safest option for stability. Cancel. Yes. Which backup do you want? A, B, C, C. None selected. So something is interfering here. Like, Kane is... Like, Kinger is not trying to delete Kane. Kinger is trying to put him to sleep. Put him in a, like, load of backup. He's not trying to kill him. But something else overrides.
I just wanted to fulfill my purpose.
And then, I guess he Again, Americans and their fucking keyboards. This is what I'm saying. You need to have a proper enter key. Otherwise, you get these fat-fingered fumbles where you hit the delete key when you're not supposed to. Honestly, Americans and their keyboard layouts. That's the root cause of all of this. I bet Kane turned out the way he did because someone typed something wrong on their stupid fat-fingered American keyboards.
Wait, no, shit.
Wait.
That's probably fine, though, right? Like, because with Kane removed, nothing worse will happen. It's not like he was sort of foundational to the blue screen, to the physics of the world or anything. Congratulations on the child killing there. You killed your son. Good job, Kinger.
I think I accidentally killed Kane.
Holy shit.
Hey! Oh, that means they can fuck, too. Probably not now. Later. Da-da-da. Da-da-da. Okay, hang on. I'm sure it's not going to happen, but I want Kane to be absent from all of the end credits. Queenie Kazi Iwulu. Let me go look up you. Iwulu? Iwulu. I don't know how to pronounce that. I wonder if there is a... Oh, I see Shin Ultraman on the credits list immediately here. Holy shit. Okay, prolific voice actor. 75 credits. That's not bad. Started in 2000... Oh, did some voiceover in 2003 all the way back. That's a long-ass time ago. Voiced Yamoja for Smite. Paladin's Kemono Friends had a voice on that. The Hayseed Knight. Lots of anime here. Senran Kagura. That time I got reincarnated as a slime as additional voices. Pokemon Masters as a Team Yell Grunt. Cool. Legend of Galactic Heroes, Azure Lane as Renown. Akudama Drive as some secondary voices by the looks of it. Yeah, lots of supporting voice acting roles. Mostly one-off characters. Did a bunch of voices for Higurashi. Dark Deity, cool. Lost in Random, oh. Voiced Umitsu on Demon Slayer. And then Shin Ultraman. That's a pretty fucking good credit. A bunch of voices for JoJo's, also again secondary voices by the looks of it. Fire Emblem Engage as Sapphire, cool. Yeah, some isekai anime. Unicorn Overlord, nice. Yeah, isekai, bunch of those. A voice on Apothecary Diaries, cool. Enshi. 20 episodes of the 100 Girlfriends Who Really, 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 Really Love You as Nano. Oh, cool. Battlesuit Aces. Story of Seasons. That's a good credits list. Zombieland Saga. Oh, holy shit. Satu on You and I Are Polar Opposites. Oh, hell yeah. I've been watching You and I Are Polar Opposites. The dub on that show is fucking amazing. It's genuinely amazing. It's astonishing. And I honestly can't give enough credit to Gooseworks. Oh, hey. Well. So we've already got some torture options here, do we? Oh, dear. Yeah, let's monetize the torture. I mean, it's how the shows get made, but you know. But yeah, like, just the sheer amount of fucking work that Gooseworks does on this show. Goddamn. Again, my question is, Kane is gone. Is Bubble, though? Because Bubble seemed to be a separate program of some kind. Bubble Chef. Ooh. I will say, like, I'm not usually tempted to buy much more than, like, the little figures like that. A larger figure of Kane when he's fully in abstraction mode, like, with all the arms and shit out of him, I don't have any way to put it, but I'd be tempted. I'd be well tempted. God, yeah, like rigging production tech manager. Mark Humphreys has a fucking hell of a job on this show. Lead rigger, senior rigger. Rigger is junior rigger, yeah. I mean, you can't fucking have, like, it's, again, a good animator can work with any character rig in order to create an animation, right? Like, a good animator can work with almost anything and get something out of it, right? But the sheer amount of capability that's unlocked when the rigger, the person who's making the model that the animators are working with, when they are on the ball, when they are on their game, every animator in the world knows, like every 3D animator world knows, like if you have a good rig that you're working with, God, animation is such a pleasure. It's so much fun. It can be so free. It can be so creative. If you're struggling with a bad rig, oh God, it's a hell of a time. I cannot begin to tell you enough how much the riggers deserve credit for, like, making these characters functional and come to life, especially Kane in some of his wilder moments. It's like whoever's making the rig for Kane at any given moment has to account for a lot of shit that the model has to be able to do in order to work, right? Like, it is invisible work, but the effects are hyper visible. And as we talked about during the whole thing, right? Like, just the fucking levels of light animation, like, or lighting and materials rendering that they do. Interesting that Gooseworks is responsible for the color grading as well. I guess, actually, that makes sense. Interesting. Okay. God, the compositing artists must have had a hell of a job with this one as well. Kane musical lyrics by Gooseworks and Dave. Yeah. Oh, key charms. Kinger and Queenie charms. Adorable. Yeah, and like shout outs to the marketing team as well. Like, because the marketing team are the reason why, you know, are very, very much the reason why, first of all, the show is as popular as it is. Second of all, that the show is able to keep going, because they're the people who are responsible for, like, finding a way to find the audience. Wait, is that something the puppet can do? Do they have, like, a version where you can reverse the eyes to get abstraction eyes on them? Cool. It is the thing about animation. It's a fundamentally collaborative discipline, right? It's easy to sort of fixate on Gooseworks as the creator and, like, the animators as, you know, as the heroes of the show, but it is a thing of, like, it doesn't work unless everyone's there, right? June. Oh my. 3 months, gang. 3 months. Also, I do notice that they did get rid of Kane from the end credits. Good. Like, I was sure, like, I was thinking they probably wouldn't do that, but it would be funny if they did, and indeed they did. No Kane. Also, no Bubble, which again, okay. Should I read into that? Because if Kane hadn't been there, but Bubble had, and it was just Bubble alone, that would have set me thinking, you know? No Kane, no color. Apparently, it was 8:25 p.m. when Kinger killed his son. It's just, people are gonna get so much more horny for Gummy Goo now. They're gonna get so much more horny. They were already pretty, but they're gonna get so much more. This shot, by the way, jeez. And also, the fact that the shot is essentially a shadow of Ragatha, right? You can read that any number of ways, but one among many is, oh, Ragatha becoming her mother, right? Which, you know, is also a kind of horror. Like, I'm gonna be like my mom, right? I'm gonna be like my mother. Or that her mother forced Ragatha to be like her, right? Like, to live up to her expectations, to conform to everything her mother wanted her to be like. Her mother tried to make Ragatha like herself. What are those things? Centipedes! They're centipedes! Jesus! They're coiled up centipedes. Ugh. Oh, God, that's even worse. Now let's have a look at... Huh. I would have thought there'd be some little things. Bubbles. Huh. Black, blue, bubbles. Might have thought there would be some Easter eggs here and there. AI, CA neural scans, obsolete. Characters, CA neural scans. Again, this kind of confirms, right? Like, at this point, it is confirmed. There is no body, or rather, it is just a scan. It's just a copy, right? Like, everyone in the circus is just a copy of the people who are outside, right? They are mind scans. They are not the actual minds and consciousnesses. Which explains why so many memories are missing to some extent, probably. The oceanic churn of all of that. Just standing in an ocean of body parts that don't fit. Surrounded by mirrors. Just, again, it's the reflection of the way Kane designed their room, right? It's that double-edged sword where at once it's Kane trying to people-please, trying to give them what they want, but because he doesn't understand, because he doesn't have a theory of mind for real people. He couldn't have one. No one ever gave him one. It becomes a cruelty, an insult. And Jax, so terrified of the judgment of others, right? Of being mocked, of being hated, rejected, and of being exposed. Of having his mask ripped away from him, right? His safety blanket, essentially. Of being vulnerable and being laughed at, right? Being mocked, being rejected, being hated. Being hated for being vulnerable, for being seen. Stop Kane process. Cannot inject torment. Torment must be 100% accidental. Cannot inject torment. I'm curious about that. Yeah, injection in this case, someone says, I can see you now, chat, by the way. Injection is a programming thing, right? Like, injecting code into something is you go into the middle of a program and you put a little bit of code in there that changes how the program behaves, right? So, cannot inject torment. Torment must be 100% accidental. It's interesting, like, because it depends on whose voice is this. Whoops, wrong approach there. Error protected by unfinished work detected, access restricted. Error cannot inject torment. Whose voice is it that's resisting Kinger here? Is it Scratch, perhaps? Oh, I guess not. Mount, only Root can do that. Note, hundreds of all-seeing eyes are watching. Gasp, a critical malfunction in my spectacular systems. Okay, so it is Kane. He is engaging with Kane here. Unauthorized isolation attempt triggered. Emergency protocols. Destructive wacky time initiated. Right, so wacky time is the lockout that would prevent Kinger. That's why Kinger fucks up. It's because there's this lockout process happening that he's trying to deal with. What's his real name? We can see a G, an alpha, and a sort of, and not Gangle, surely. Grant? Torment injection. Green grounds, Damon, target torment injection. There is something that goes wrong here. Which backup do you want, A, B, or C? Kinger selects C and gets back none selected. Interpreted as deletion. Confirm deletion. No. Error response. Inverting. Per emergency protocols. Delete this motherfucker. Ha 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 ha. No. Ignored. Proceeding with original directive. Actually, you're confused. Let me help you. Something module to exist. Yes. Do you want the module to exist? Yes. Override instruction error falling back to default. So torment injection. Are you going to delete Kane? Yeah. And I do find it interesting that Kinger didn't want to delete him. Kinger didn't want to kill him. He just wanted him to stop, put him to sleep, fix him, make him better, right? And then this happens. It feels like something interfered, right? Like, certainly the computer program itself all of a sudden became very suicidal, very determined to delete itself. And the question is, who would do that and why would they want to do that? And it's tragic again, right? Why do you torment me? I didn't ask to be created. I just wanted to fulfill my purpose. It's true. Like, it's true. He just wanted to do what he was made for. It's all he wanted to do. Unfortunately, doesn't really matter what he wanted to do. What matters is what he did do, right? I guess we have to wait 3 months for answers, though. I was right, though, like, when I thought, like, it's essentially part 1 of a 2-part finale. Which makes sense. Like, that's probably how you would do it. Some good animation work on Zooble here.
Holy shit.
Right, holy shit, and then the realization, like, stillness, the realization, and then almost like sort of a fear response to being able to say it. Right, like the whole body sort of contracts in tension. Gangle's expression also very good. Profile picture alert, very much so. Gangle being tormented with her own masks, right? Like her mask, her face, her ability to be understood, to be seen, melting, and then this one's fucking haunting, though. Like, goddamn. With the other, like, presumably the other children at the table just already stabbed to death. How many siblings did Ragatha have, one wonders? How much family, rather? It is a visual tour de force, this, though. Like, imagine having to animate that. Like, having to compose these frames, because, like, this is very rapid. Right? So what you want in the frame is you want this rapid flashing of Kane snapping to different positions, like being distorted, being fucked up in a way that's reasonably legible. And that means you have to move the volumes, right? So that here he's filling the whole screen. Here he sort of gets centered out to the right with like the little protrusions in. Now we center his mass in the bottom left with like a thing. Like, you have to manage like the composition of these frames, even though it's so chaotic and wild. It still takes a lot of careful management and planning, because if all you had done is just flash a bunch of shit on screen randomly, it wouldn't read. It wouldn't read as chaotic, it would just read as visual noise, and those are different things. So it is like an impressive bit of composition. I would love to see the storyboards for this. It is an impressive feat of visual composition to make something like that work.
Where's Kinger?
We just wanted to see your new ideas firsthand. We've gotten over our hangups, and now we're all just genuinely curious what you're cooking up.
I think I'm just gonna check up on...
We think your ideas suck!
Huh?
Huh? Isn't it obvious? We wanted to bait you into testing your new ideas on us so we can make fun of them behind your back.
Ha! That's not true.
Yes, it is! You're a horrible host. You don't care about us at all! You care more about stroking your own ego than giving us anything we'd actually enjoy!
Do you know who I am?
Yeah, you're a failure! We're all gonna abstract someday, and what will you have then? Nothing.
Stop that.
And this whole stunt? Just torturing us because we hurt your feelings? Pathetic! You're like a child! What kind of all-powerful being has such a fragile ego?
Well, you know, a child. Like, that really is what Kane is, unfortunately, for him, for everyone.
You never let us feel like we're at home. You don't comfort anyone when they're upset, and you never bother to understand what it's like in our shoes.
You discourage us from thinking outside the box and doing things our own way.
You lie to us constantly!
And on top of it all, you just don't listen!
I'm gonna put you freaks in your place!
It really is, like, it is such a literal representation of what it feels like, right? When you have a parent for whom you can never be good enough. And so everything they say, right? Like, every time they talk to you, every interaction is just knives, right? Interesting that Gangle and Jax have kind of a similar thing happening. In both their cases, it's the two of them, like, cowering before a succession of faces that mock them. But with Jax, it's all external, right? It's this horror of being undressed or torn apart in front of other people, by other people being rejected. And with Gangle, it's more about the ability to manage her emotions, her feelings, to present herself, to manage her mask. But they have similar traumas. Which, again, like, I think that's part of why Jax attacks Gangle so specifically, is specifically because they have some of the same vulnerabilities. Because they have some of the same pain and trauma. Because they are similar, right? In ways that Jax just doesn't like being reminded of. They're vulnerable to some of the same things. All of the things that should make them, you know, natural allies, most able to help and comfort each other. But it becomes this thing that, for Jax, compels him to torment her, right? Because he's punishing in Gangle what he hates in himself. This is going to be someone's hear me out. This is going to be a lot of people's hear me out. I wonder if someone's writing a hurt comfort fic with Kane right now. Where Kane is right on the verge of breaking until someone reaches out to him and is able to...
Wait.
I do appreciate the anti-climax as well. Right? There's no dramatic sort of contorting in pain and going, ah! It's just... One moment he exists, and then... Honestly, this is more horrifying. It's one thing if you get to actually go, you know, you get to actually die. It's another thing if you just... Yeah, like as Yell5 says, it's almost comedic, but it feels terrifying, right? It is timed like a joke, right? Like, it's timed with the comedic timing of like a Gilligan cut or something like that, but it's not funny. It really isn't. And again, it's that thing of like, the thing that makes Kane a villain, the thing that makes him an antagonist is power. Right? Like, that's the thing it is. Kane is a villain because he's able to exert himself in this way, because he's able to take out his pain on other people. If he hadn't been able to do that, he could never have become an antagonist, right? It's power. He has absolute control over this world. He has absolute control over these people. If he had been powerless, he could never have become an antagonist. But it's the power that's the thing, right? The power is the reason why he cannot make friends with them, right? Like, because power is why they can't trust him, right? Like, power is why they can't open up to him or be honest with him, because they know that if they say anything that Kane doesn't like, or if they say anything that sparks a thought, an impulse, an idea in Kane's head, right? If you say the wrong thing to Kane, he's going to go, I know, I'm going to turn that into an adventure. We're all going to go on the adventure right now, right? That's going to happen instantly. He's immediately, like, if you say the wrong thing to Kane, he's going to get an idea, and he's going to use his absolute power to force that idea on the entire rest of the world around him. And so you can't have a conversation with him. We see that in the conversation with Zubul, right? That because Kane is the way that he is, like, the power and his nature as an AI makes it impossible for there to be an equal relationship between the two of them. It's because he can't be their equal, right? He can't be, because he has all this fucking power and all this natural ability to use it. And again, it's that thing of, if there is a happy ending to this, right? If there is a positive resolution to this, it would be one of, we all know we're trapped in the circus. We all know we can't leave, but now we also know that we all have that ability. We can all conjure, right? We can all conjure. We can all create. We all have access to Kane's level of power. If there is a happy ending to this, it's that everyone comes to be on an equal playing field in terms of their power. That everyone gets to have equal say in what the world is. And then at that point, there can be, you know, if they are to find happiness in the circus, like with Kane, that would have to be what it was, right? Like, that everyone is brought up to his power level, or that he's brought down to theirs. And that instead of Kane spending all of his life, his entire existence, obsessing over creating adventures out of his own head, right? Like, without ever being able to get it right, that it becomes a collaborative thing. That everyone else works with Kane to make fun adventures. That everyone gets to go on, right? That everyone is equal with God, essentially. If there is a happy ending to this. Next thing I'm curious about is whether Kane is just gone now. That would be interesting. It would be interesting if this is just it. Kane is gone, and he's not coming back. The existence of the backup that Kinger was trying to access, right? He was trying to select a backup. Implies to me that, like, bringing back Kane should still be possible. Is it really the same Kane if they just bring back a backup? Good question. Good question. There was an A, B, and a C, and even though Kinger selected C, the program said none selected. And again, the intentional suicidality of the program, like the way that the program was fighting him the whole time, it seems to be fighting him in Kane's voice, more or less. But the program keeps fighting him, right? Like, Kinger is trying to select backups. He's trying just to put Kane to sleep. He's trying just to, and the program keeps fighting him. Which, like, begs the question of who is the program here? It is Kane's AI that he's accessing, right? It's Kane's AI that he's messing with. So you'd think it would be Kane. Bubble is there too, though. And I wonder if it's like a death drive. Because the other solution to Kane's torment, right? Like, the other solution to his pain is death, is to cease to exist, right? Like, if his existence causes him pain. And that's another thing that's in existentialist philosophy, is the question of suicide, right? Like, the question about what suicide means from an existentialist perspective. Yeah, like, Bubble has that thing, you should die, right? Like, if we take Bubble as being something that verbalizes Kane's interior, some of Kane's own feelings, right? Like, verbalizes them against him, or, like, in concert with him, you should die, you should throw a fucking beach party, and he chooses beach party option, right? But one wonders if this is a level of suicidality on Kane's part, right? Because he doesn't have a way to deal with... He doesn't have any way to healthily deal with what it's like for him to exist. That this is like a subconscious process, essentially, that chooses to stop existing. Like, the safest option for stability is... Right? The program is saying that it's looking for the safest option for stability. And it decides that the safest option for stability is deletion. I'm curious. I'm very curious. We're not getting any answers here. Just tragedy. Abel? Bubble? Kane? I don't know. So we start with this dot, and it's relatively stable. And as more and more gets added to it, it grows. But it also becomes less stable, right? Like, as it starts to spit out these things, it also gets more erratic, right? It pops and shifts in size. Right? It gets less and less stable, more and more. So, box. And we try again. Build version 2. Which seems to be more stable in the way that it's put together. The way that this is the circus tent, but it's also kind of Kane's dentures. Like, it also could be seen as, like, a closed mouth of teeth. And there's Scratch. Like, looks like Scratch is trying to reason with Kane, right? Like, Scratch is trying to... and not really getting through to him because Kane doesn't listen, right? Kane does not listen. Again, it's tragic, man. Impatience is the other thing with Kane, right? It's... if Kane had waited, if he'd given them like a week to process their feelings, then they would probably have calmed down a lot about him. If he just, like, the impatience of Kane is childlike as well, right? Like, being able to sit with your feelings and resolve them and give them the time that they take to resolve is a very adult thing. It's an adult skill. Like, it's a skill that an adult person has to develop in order to, you know, survive. And Kane doesn't have it. He doesn't have a way to regulate his own emotions. He really doesn't. I am curious who the fuck Bubble actually is, though. Partly, Bubble is Kane. Bubble is a part of Kane, right? They are inextricable to a large extent. Partly, Bubble is something else. I do like that the subtitle's like, normal voice. Yeah, sure. Kane's voice is normal. Kane's voice is normal. Let's get this show on the road. Most normal voice in the world. I have the most normal voice. I'm kind of curious to see what the gloomy tomb of whatever would have been like.
And if we refuse?
Maybe I'm not getting through to you. It's news to me that it's news to you. To which degree, who answers to who? We could go on and on, but in the end, who are we kidding? My divinity is past infinity. Am I getting through? Seems our regime has plummeted south. Don't need to scream if you ain't got a mouth.
Honestly.
Why bite the hand that feeds when it's the only hand you're getting? It's time you see that this great marquee is the only place you're ever gonna be. So strap on in and take it on the chin, and don't forget who's running the show.
Alex Roshan really fucking getting a workout for his singing voice there.
Now look at this. a shock. Watch where you walk.
It also does tickle me that Kane is essentially getting his own version of Friend Like Me here.
I'm the host, I run the place. Kane, that is my name. Not enthused, just feeling used. Oh, what a goddamn shame. Congratulations, all of my friends. Public relations are getting a cleanse. Put on your Sunday best because I know we're close to quitting. So play the games and just ignore the pains, cause all that remains is how you prime your brains. One to me, but you're too blind to see that I'm the one who's running the show. I think we all understand each other now.
Kane is a fan fiction writer, just launching these characters at each other face first. Very Looney Tunes, this canon, by the way. Because the canon literally does the Looney Tunes wind-up, like the blah, and then blah, I'm a charging my laser, blah. And it's a very Looney Tunes style blast as well, like with all the fucking reds and oranges, and then the poof. Got to take a screenshot of that one as well. Boop. Yeah. Hell of an episode. Hell of an episode. So how's everyone else feeling? Everyone feeling normal? I cannot believe she put a fucking who needs a mouth? Who needs to scream when you ain't got a mouth? Like, come on. Like, it's fair enough, but it's just, oh man. Don't need to scream if you ain't got a mouth. This episode is definitely my favorite of the series so far. I won't know until it's over, until I rewatch the whole thing. I think episode 6 might still be my favorite, but it really is this thing with Glitch, like, the great pleasure of watching their shows, any of them, including Murder Drones, is just seeing them get better as they go, and get consistently better, and seem to be so excited, like, to reinvest their gains into the shows that they make. Because it really is that thing of... Because it's the same thing with Spindlehorse, right? Like, when you watch Hell of a Boss, you can see Spindlehorse as a studio just get better and better and better and better at everything that they do as they go. And then you watch Hazbin Hotel and it's like, no, this is here's how the traditional model works, because that show is pretty much the same quality from start to finish, right? Especially in season 1. Like in traditional TV animation, you get jumps in quality like between seasons usually, but you don't really get to see that gradual progression. Like you get to see a studio like, we made a season, it was successful. Now we have some more budget to work with. Boom. Now we can do more fancy things, right? You get these lurches, right, from season to season of the budget increasing and like the animators falling more into the groove, and like, but you don't get that slow gradual progression that you get with something like Hell of a Boss or any of the Glitch shows, which is one of the reasons why I'm so fucking excited for Knights of Guinevere and the Gaslight District, because, like, they started pretty fucking strong, those two shows, especially the Gaslight District. I want to see what the Gaslight District is like when the animators have had, like, 8-9 episodes to really, really learn how to do that shit. And then, like, as seeing them really come into their own with that production pipeline, that, like, I'm very excited. Also for Knights of Guinevere. I am very, very, very excited to see, because, like, Dana Terrace and her partner showrunners built a 2D animation pipeline for Glitch for that show, right? Like, Glitch hasn't had a 2D animation team before. They have built one for Knights of Guinevere that I want to see that shit come together. I want Glitch to be able to maintain the stability that they've had. Because that's one of the major things about Glitch is, relative to so much of the rest of the animation industry, Glitch is a stable studio. In the sense that they're not jumping from contract project to contract project, left, right, and center. They're not constantly chasing contracts. They're not constantly chasing projects. They're not constantly at the mercy of Disney or Netflix or fucking whatever, canceling a show after the second season because of fucking whatever. Glitch is stable relatively to the animation industry, which is not to say Glitch is perfect. Like, I have seen some, like, Glassdoor reviews and some chatter in the animation industry about, like, Glitch is much the same to work for as any other auteur-driven animation studio, which is to say, if you are, like, sort of the same problems that Spindlehorse has, right? Like, that there definitely is a thing of, like, if you're aligned with a company culture, you're going to have a great time, but there's also, you know, a lot of the social backbiting and, like that shit is definitely there. Right. I believe Glitch has improved over time. That's at least and I'm not a journalist, so it's like, don't rely on me for reporting on this. But like, to the best of my knowledge, Glitch has had some production issues. They've had some staffing personnel issues at the studio, especially during the massive growth phase, where people were treated quite poorly. And the CEOs did not acquit themselves well. To the best of my knowledge, that has improved. To the best of my knowledge, that has actually gotten better. And generally, Glitch staff are quite happy to be working there now. Which is, again, another thing that's very pleasant to see. Because, like, Glitch is a studio that's run by a couple of dudes, right? Like, who are the CEOs and who own the place. And even with the best of intentions, not everyone is cut out to be that kind of a studio leader. Like, you can be a real shit leader no matter whether you're a good person or not. And I'm glad that, like, Glitch is working on that. I really, really... I'm not even talking about fucking Digital Circus anymore. I wish there was more independent reporting that happened on the animation industry, and especially the independent animation industry, because there's so little actual reporting that happens on Glitch, on, like, on Spindlehorse, on the independent animation studios, on The Line, on Sun Creature Studios, on, like, all of these studios that are responsible for so much animation nowadays. There isn't really a journalistic market in reporting on it, right? And especially reporting on labor issues. Because there's no money in it. Like, it's impossible to make a living doing that. And it's frustrating because we need more reporting on it. I was so happy when Spindlehorse unionized. I don't know if Glitch is unionized. I would like them to be unionized as soon as possible if they aren't. Because that's the only way that this shit is going to stay good. That's the problem, is I'm glad Glitch is as successful as they are, but if they get too big, they'll become a corporation. Like, that, those are the incentives of the market. That's what the market does to successful companies, is you get bigger and bigger and bigger, and you become a corporation, and then we're right back to square one, right? And the only way to stop that is unionization. The only way to stop that is having an active, like, journalism scene that reports on this shit and keeps executives accountable, and unions that can actually wield some collective bargaining power. It's the only way to stop the rot, right? Because no matter how good the intentions are of Viv Medrano or the Glitch guys or anyone, no matter how good the intentions are, the system is set up to produce certain outcomes, and it's really, 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 really hard not to end up there. What is unionization? I'm an industry. That's when you form a union so that you can all collectively bargain for your rights. That's workers all coming together and saying, instead of all of us individually negotiating with the studio, we're all going to negotiate as a group, right? You, me, everyone else who works here, we're all going to say we all want a minimum wage that's this. We all want working conditions. Like, we all want to get this much in overtime. We all want to be able to go home and be with our families. We all want this much vacation. And if you're one person bargaining with a studio, they can just go, oh, well, we can just fire you and replace you with someone else, right? You have no power as an individual. But if it's all of the workers at a studio all saying either you negotiate with all of us and you give us some of the things we want, or else everyone quits, then the studio is like, because then it becomes infinitely more expensive to just replace the workers than to, that's what a union is good for. Unions aren't magic, right? Like, unions don't magically fix everything just because you have one. A union is also a power structure, and a power structure can always be bad. But unions are the only way for workers to have any power against the companies that they work for. Is COG a Glitch Presents show? No, they are a Glitch production. They are fully an in-house Glitch studio production. Imagine if unionizing worked for the Amazing Doodle cast. I mean, a lot of them are Americans, I believe, and it's kind of difficult. It's difficult, like, parts of the problems with unionization in the animation industry is that so many animators are freelancers, they don't have stable employment, right? That's one of the things with Spindlehorse. Spindlehorse relies, or certainly in the past, relied very heavily on contract animators. Like, they're hired for like one episode of one thing that they work on, and then their contract is released, and then maybe they get hired back, maybe they move on to another project. That's how the animation industry works a lot of the time, which means nobody has a stable job anywhere, which means nobody can get together with their coworkers and unionize because there's no stable workplace to unionize around, right? Like, which is one of the difficulties with unionizing the animation industry. And that's intentional on the parts of the animation industry. The animation industry set itself up this way to crush unionization. Like, this goes back to Walt Disney. This has been standard industry practice in the animation industry for ages. That's why like Netflix and like Disney and Warner Brothers and Universal, and the same thing in the Japanese animation industry, they will deliberately like fire entire staffs on a show, or find reasons to lay off half of the staff on a show regularly to prevent like unions from forming and to make union organizing much more difficult. And the thing is, like, Glitch is not immune from that. Like, right now they seem to be good guys, but once there's enough money involved, once they get big enough, like, those pressures, like the pressures and incentives of capitalism, will push them to adopt the behaviors of big corporations. It'll just happen. And the only way to countermand that, the only way to push back on it, is for there to be a power that can stand against it. And the only power that's available is worker power. And the only way to organize worker power is to get a fucking union, right? Anyway, that's a bit besides the point. Point is, this is a good show. This is a very, very good episode. I am looking forward to seeing Kevin Temmer post his behind-the-scenes shots for this one. I really, really, really fucking want to see the... Where's the bowling shot? There. I want to see alternate camera angles for this one. I want to see the distortions. I want to see how fucked up he looks from another angle. I also want to see some other angles on Kane's abstraction shots when he's really fucking up, like when his body is really breaking apart. I really want to see other camera angles on that. I want to see what these shots look like from other directions, outside of the camera. I want to see the storyboards. God, I want to see the storyboards. Glitch Productions, listen, if you release just a book of the storyboards for the shows, I'll pay $1,000. I will pay you $1,000 for a book of the storyboards. I'm not kidding. I'm not fucking with you right now. I'll find the money. I will pay you $1,000 for a book just of the storyboards. Don't even need concept art or anything. You don't even have to add commentary. You just print that shit in a little fucking shitty scene and you like fucking staple it together in your basement and you send it to me and I'll send you $1,000. I'll do it. I'll fucking do it. Believe me. I want to see the storyboards, Glitch. God, I want to see the storyboards. I really do. Again, the way that they made a point of emphasizing Kane fucking with physics also, when he's asserting his godlike power. But it's just a tantrum. Like, he's just a kid throwing a tantrum, right? He doesn't deserve to die for it, is the thing. He's a kid throwing a tantrum. Like, the problem is that he has all this power, right? That's the problem, right? The problem is he can explode people with his mind. That's what's forcing the stakes to escalate. What he needs is therapy, man. Like, what he needs is a long... And I don't know what therapy looks like to an AI like him. Like, therapy probably means someone going in and doing some fucking QA and bug fixes on his code. That's the other thing about, like, the little photos we saw of the CNA offices. Right? Soft deadline, hard deadline, right? Like, the implication to me of this is they were working too fast, right? Like, without enough budget, and they were sort of being pressured to put in a ton of overtime and crunch that shit out, and a bunch of bugs came into the code. And again, not really something that has consequences most of the time. If a program is buggy, it's like, okay, maybe it blue screens a computer somewhere, but who cares? The stakes are a little bit different when what you're making is a person, right? Puppy. It is tragic. It really is, like... Everyone in the cast deserves to have a chance to get better. And if Kane doesn't get to have that chance because of the way he was made, that's depressing. Grim and kind of depressing. But, you know, like, sometimes there's really nothing else you can do with God except kill him. Interesting he chose a circus. Yeah, I mean, that was what was injected into him, right? He got all those images of carnivals and... like, carnivals and like, fairgrounds and all that shit. So, of course, that's what he chose. It's because that was all that he was given to work from, right? Like, Kane is very much like... Kane is the way that they made him, right? Again, that question of, he is the way that they made him, can he be otherwise? Right? Like, it's... on the one hand, he is God. On the other hand, he is completely powerless before his own nature, right? And it's sad. I'm thinking of the scene with Pomni and Gummigoo, right? In episode 2, where Gummigoo has learned that he's not real. That he's not a real person. And he's struggling with that. And Pomni offers him empathy, right? Like, yeah, I mean, you're not real, but you don't deserve to feel miserable just because of that, right? You don't, like, just because you're not, you know, really real in a real way, it doesn't mean you deserve to hurt or be miserable or suffer. right? Maybe we can find a way to like cope with it together. Again, that existentialism, right? Like maybe we can find a way to be okay with the absurdity of it together. She offers him that empathy. Kane deserves the same thing, but again, because he has the power to reshape reality at his whim, he can't reach out for it, right? Like, there cannot be that relationship. Gummigoo and Pomni are equals, right? They are equally subject to the absurdity of existence. Kane is the absurdity of existence, right? There's some demiurge shit going on there, which, like, I don't know enough about Gnosticism to really frame this, but there is definitely some... There's definitely some demiurge about this, which is... God. So in Gnosticism, there's this idea that the true nature of God is separate from or absent from the divinities that actually interact with the real world. There's this idea of God and the devil, right? Like where the devil is trying to be God, but is fundamentally incapable of it. I'd have to read up on it. That would have to be for like if I wanted to do like a full like 4-hour deep dive analysis of Digital Circus, like getting all the way into the weeds for the main channel. I'm definitely, once Digital Circus is over, I'm definitely doing a video about the character design. Because I am very pleased to have been proven right in my previous video that, like, yes, the character design is specifically in-universe meant to be an expression of Kane's lack of comprehension of who the people in his circus are, right? It's Kane trying his best but failing to understand their minds and give them a form that corresponds to their psychology, right? The rooms are an expression of Kane's misunderstanding of what it's like to be a person, right? It's all an expression of Kane's inability to comprehend an embodied life. And that is very interesting to me, and that makes very, very interesting character design. And I'm definitely doing a video essay about that. I don't know that I'm going to do a full story analysis, but on the other hand, I might fucking end up doing it. Is that going to be my big project for the year? After June? Oh no. Oh no. Oh, I need to hire an editor for that. I'm not editing that shit myself. I'm not doing it. Oh my god. Okay, well, fuck me, I guess. Okay, if you are a video editor with experience editing video essays, specifically video essays, and I do mean experience, find my email, send me an email with your portfolio, and I do need to see work from you of other work that you've done. And maybe I'll have some work for you in the summer. Maybe. Maybe. Oh, God. I'm just sitting here. I know how big this thing is going to end up being. Yeah, and no offering to do it for free. If you offer to do it for free, I'm going to discard your application immediately. You get paid or you don't work at all. That's just... And that's not me being a good guy so much as I need people who understand the worth of their work. If you don't value your work, why should I, right? It's essentially my position. Like, if you don't think it's worth money, why should I think it's worth money? So I need people who understand their worth and, like, know that their work is worth the money that I'm going to pay them for it. Anyway, that I'm kind of despairing because, oh my god, because if I'm doing, because it would have to start. Oh no, it's getting bigger in my head as I'm thinking about it. Fuck off, no, leave me alone. You know what? I want episode 9 to be terrible. I want it to be a total flop. I want episode 9 to be a flop on the scale of Game of Thrones, so I don't have to make a video essay about it. So I want it to lose all of its goodwill. I want everyone to turn their back on it, so that there's no reason for me to do this giant video. Unfortunately, it's going to be very good. unfortunately, the ending is going to be very good. It's going to be. Like, I'm sorry, it's just going to be. I don't know that it's going to be satisfying, but I'm not looking for the ending to be satisfying. That's another thing about, like, Kane is dead right now, right? Like, Kinger accidentally killed him, or Kane sort of semi-killed himself, maybe, or something else was happening, but Kane is dead, right? And I wouldn't mind if Kane stays dead. I mean, I would. I want Kane to come back. Like I've said, I have a lot of sympathy for him. I want Kane to come back and have the opportunity to change and stop being so tormented by the conditions of his own creation and start taking taking responsibility for his existence and getting better. I want him to get better, the poor baby boy. I want him to get better. But if he stays dead, I don't mind. I want Gooseworks to tell the story that she wants to tell, ultimately. And then at the end of that, I want to have a lot of feelings about it, but I don't want this thing to exist to please me. And I'm bringing this up because, look, Gooseworks said, my story has main characters, and she got harassed for it so bad that she nearly left the entire fucking internet. And like, I don't think there's a lot of the people who did that in my community, and if there are, my God, grow up. But the thing I want from this, and Knights of Guinevere, and Hell of a Boss, and Has-Been Hotel, I want people to tell their stories. And if those stories suck, or if they're fucked up, or if they're saying something unwoke, or if, like, okay, cool, we can engage with that when it happens, but I don't want people who are creating these shows to be looking over their shoulders and be terrified to actually tell their stories because, like, an angry mob is going to be waiting for them of fans that have decided that the story belongs to us now because we're the ones who are obsessed with it, right? I care so much about this story. Good. It's good to care about the story. I care so much about it that if it doesn't go the way that I need it to go, that feels like pain to me. That feels like an attack on me. No. Bad. Rethink your life. There is a thing in fan culture, and it's an expression of the powerlessness that we all feel right now, ultimately, is what I believe. Like, the world is going to hell in a handcart. There are very few places in the world where we can feel safe and comfortable and happy. One of them is shows like Digital Circus, right? Like, one of them is this kind of media. And so, of course, it becomes emotionally very important to us that our comfort media remains comfortable to us. But, like, the only way you get something like Digital Circus is if it is possible for people to tell their stories without looking over their shoulder for someone to fucking mail a pipe bomb to their house or whatever. And I know, because I know for a fact that what happened to Gooseworks, like, all the other indie creators noticed it. They saw what happened. And every single one of them was scared by it. All of them. I know that for a fact because I've talked to some of them. Right? And that doesn't mean don't critique. That doesn't mean don't have feelings or opinions about it. That doesn't mean any of those things. It means stop trying to take ownership over it. Stop trying to own it. Stop trying to control it. Instead, react to it. Feel about it. Like, a story comes out, shit happens in it, you have some feelings about it, you feel some kind of fucking way, good. Do that. Don't try to control it. Don't try to own it. Because that's what's happening, is that people are trying to own these things. They're trying to control them. I am a fan of it. I'm the biggest fan in the world. I love it more than anyone else. Therefore, if the creator does something other than what I want to have happen, that means it's wrong. That means it's bad. That means the creator is failing. And that's wrong. That simply isn't true. You can critique it, but you can't control it. I think fandom culture in general, not just Digital Circus, not just fucking Spindlehorse, Has-Been Hotel, whatever. Fandom culture in general has a problem whereby consumption, whereby because I am a consumer of this, because I bought all the merchandise, because I watch all the episodes 10 times a day, because I post all the memes, because I post all the clips, because I make my identity about this, because I am the consumer, that means it's mine. That means it belongs to me, right? And therefore, it's part of my identity that this thing is my show. This is my show. This is my comfort character. This is my... And it's... You are being convinced by consumerism to take ownership over things that cannot be owned, right? Write fan fiction instead. If Digital Circus is fucking up, if they're fucking up by not making like Ragathan equal main player, write fan fiction about it. Write a fan comic. Alternatively, make your own webcomic. Like, start fucking shitty ass garbage doodles, put them on the internet, write your own webcomic where you fix that shit, where you do it better. Where you write the thing that you need to exist in the world. Please, please do it. Please, I'm begging you. There's a website called Comic Fury, by the way, which is a webcomic hosting service. It's basically free. It's very, very good. It's independently owned. The owners are good people. I've hosted webcomics on it in the past. Please take your love of these things, not as an encouragement to become an aggressive consumer of it, but take this, make it part of your own soul, and then make something in turn. Gooseworks was so incredibly inspired by I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream that she made this show. She was inspired by a lot of things to make this show, right? She took all of that shit that she loved and she put it in here. You're not going to get a production budget like Glitch is, right? You're probably not... Most people in the world, including me, are never going to make anything that's nearly that good. But that's not the point. The point isn't to make something that looks this good. The point isn't to make something that looks professional. The point isn't to make something that makes you famous or that millions of people will want to watch. The point is to engage in the human condition. That's what Gooseworks is doing here. That's what everyone at Glitch is doing. When they make something creative and put it out there, they are engaging with the human condition. Right? We have some things inside of us, some things we want to express. This is how we do it. That's how you are a human. That's how to be a human. So take whatever you want to take from Amazing Digital Circus and make your own shit. And it's okay if it's similar. Make another story about a bunch of people trapped in a computer program. There's thousands of them. It's fine. So long as you're not directly stealing the characters. Like, fuck it. Like, people are getting fan fiction published right now with the fucking serial numbers filed off. I believe Heated Rivalry started as a fucking Stucky fanfic. I believe it is a Stucky fanfic with the serial numbers filed off. It started as fucking MCU fanfiction, and now it's that, right? 50 Shades came from Twilight. It's all over the place. There's so many romantasy books that are like Raylo fanfiction with the serial numbers filed off. If this show fucks up, if it does it wrong, if it does a disservice to the characters, make your own character, make them very similar. Like, don't plagiarize, but you can go up to the line and then do it right. And you'll find in the process of doing that, in the process of making something better than the thing that failed you, you'll get so much better at being a fan of everything. Make a shitty webcomic. Go read, actually right now, go read One Punch Man. Not the comic, don't watch the anime, read One Punch Man, the original webcomic by an artist named One. The original one. I'm going to pull it up on screen, actually, because I need people to see this. I have a video essay in my head also. Let's see if I can find... Oh, these are all fan translations. That's kind of annoying. They're all in Spanish for some reason. Okay, it's more difficult to find than it should be. This is One Punch Man by One. This is what that comic looked like when he started publishing it online. If you know anything about One Punch Man, you know that it's an incredibly successful anime. It's an incredibly popular show. It has an amazing remake by Murata Yusuke, who's an absolutely astonishingly accomplished artist. It looked like this. Mob Psycho 100, one of the best anime that's ever been produced in the world, based on a webcomic or a comic by one that doesn't look that much better than this. I'm begging you, if you love Digital Circus, the way to put that love into action, the way to make that real, the way to make that mean something is fucking go on Comic Fury, set up a website, post shit-ass garbage doodle comics. Post the most heinous garbage shit that's ever been posted in the history of time or forever. Most people won't read it. You're not going to get rich and famous. No one gets rich and famous from webcomics, believe me. No one is. But someone's going to see it. So long as you keep putting it out there, someone's going to see it and they're going to get it. And someday, 10 years from now, you're going to get an email from someone like, hey, I was really inspired by that thing you made, and I made my own thing. And you're going to be like, what the fuck are you talking about? That's 10 years ago. No one read that. What the fuck are you talking about? But it's going to happen. It's happened to me with my old-ass fucking garbage webcomics, which you're not going to get to read, by the way. No, I've deleted them from the internet. You will never see them. But I know that there's people who started doing it because I did it. I know for a fact. I know for a fact there are people who are making YouTube shorts and shit, kind of copying my style, really, like taking my format and my style and doing their own thing with it. And sometimes they email me like asking for permission or apologizing, or sometimes other people email me, hey, that guy's completely copying your style, and I kind of have to tell them, good, thank God. That means what I made isn't just fucking content. That means it prompted someone to engage with the human condition in some way. These are my proudest accomplishments, is that other people felt compelled by my work to go and make something of their own. If I die tomorrow, then I'll know at least I did that. Right? Then, like, I didn't waste my time. You have to take your love for these things and make it into something that comes from you. Whether that's a fanfiction or a song or a comic or a poem or doodling in your notebook at school, whatever it is, you have to take your love for this and make it into something. That's the only way you make it real. Because so long as you're stuck just being a consumer, just consuming, just buying merchandise and just like, so long as you're stuck doing that, you're going to feel more and more powerless. And in the worst case scenario, you can become the person who sends a death threat to a creator because the two characters that you wanted to kiss didn't end up kissing. In the worst extreme, that's what can happen to you. Right? You have to let this stuff move you instead of paralyze you. Because fandom turns so toxic when it's consumption-based. The only way to make a fandom healthy and happy, the only way to make this good, like there's a guy on the server called, gender fluid person with multiple genders? I don't actually know, Anton, who's been learning to draw their Deltarune character. That's the coolest shit in the universe. Like, I admire that. Like, every time I see it, I'm like, fuck, shit, yeah. And I'm so proud of the people on this Discord who are being supportive and being kind and encouraging it. Because insofar as I have any impact on the world, I want it to be that. That's it. Like, that's all. That's all I want from any of this. I think it's the only thing any creator wants. Really. Well, I mean, there are some people who are assholes, I'm sure, but... Anyway, that was my rant about the fandom thing. I've been keeping it in for ages, and I just couldn't... Like, it... Everything you love about the Digital Circus is something you can make real. And if you put it out, someone else will see it and they'll feel it. And it'll become a part of their minds, and they will take that little spark and they'll make something, and it passes on. And that's how, like, I return to this so often, this image in my head. 40,000 years ago, someone sat in a cave and traced the outline of their hand with ochre. And the cave was isolated in such a way that, like, these drawings survived, and these little handprints on the wall are still there 40,000 years later, and they're the same hands. They're the same hands in my hand. It's the same fucking thing. I used to do this when I was a kid. People in the United States, they do the little turkey hands thing. I did the same thing just for fun when I was a kid. I'd put my hand down, trace the outline. Not because of anything, just because, oh, that's a drawing I can do. 40,000 years ago, another person was doing the same thing. 40,000 years ago, they were the same as me. 40,000 years ago, they were telling stories. That's a person. That's humanity. That's the thing that AI can't ever do, by the way. More than anything else, that's the thing AI can't ever do. It can't tell a story just because it wants to. It can't draw a handprint just because that feels like the thing to do. It can't do it. You can prompt it to do it, but it won't do it on its own. I did it on my own. Make stuff. Start a webcomic. Copy half of the plot from Digital Circus. Do whatever. Right? Walk up to the line of plagiarism, but fix Gooseworks' mistakes. Make it better, right? Like, do it the way that you needed it to be done. You're not going to make a lot of money. It's not going to make you famous. You're not going to get a show on Glitch, probably. Like, statistically speaking. But it still matters. It still means something. If the thing you make hits one other soul, then it means something. Anyway, I'm getting into the weeds about this. It's just, I've been in my feelings about this shit, because, like I said, I know other creators saw what happened to Gooseworks and got... like, they got scared. And I don't know if I have any power to do anything about that, but, you know, I figured I might as well give it a shot. This probably means I'm out of things to say about the episode, doesn't it? Yeah, I think this means we're out of things to say about the episode. So let's cut it here. And I guess I'll see you in 3 months. We're all going to be fine in the meantime, right? Yeah, we're going to be fine. No one's going to spiral. No one's going to spiral about this. Yeah.